early this morning. There will be an emergency edition of Thorns, Buds, and Roses this morning.
Yep.
And we'll figure out exactly what time we want to get into that. We're going to play today on the fly, much like we really play every show. But you're geared up. You're fine. We all got energy this morning.
It's a Friday, man. It's a Friday. You know, Fridays we made it this long, this far after a long week, and the sports content gods just keep giving us things to talk about.
Dabo and Clemson talking at ACC media days yesterday. We'll get into a little bit of that. We're not going to cover that. I mean, we should cover the team that is second place in the state a little bit, 31-30 if you forgot. But Sean Payton yesterday, Sean Payton woke up and got himself a gun.
Yes, he did.
He followed the Sopranos theme music. He went all out yesterday.
I've been liking this reincarnation of Sean Payton. First, he said Russell Wilson, definitely going to get rid of that office in here. We're not having any of that. And now he has some choice words for a specific person. Actually, not one specific person, specific people, all of them. I loved it.
He just took everybody out. We'll get into that a little bit this morning here. And we'll also get into some football, a little bit of football as it pertains to South Carolina and North Carolina. Gamecocks a week from today will start fall camp or training camp, whatever we want to call it, a week from today. Next Thursday, they'll have another media day, Preston. Nothing will be said, but another media day next Thursday. Later on today, I think Jen and I are going to go hang out with Tony Annan. We're going to go do soccer media day, aren't we? You ready?
Sure.
How's those knee ligaments feeling?
I'm ready.
I have magically healed myself, and I am ready to go this afternoon, 2:00 over at Stone Stadium.
Be careful.
I know, yeah. It's a bad way to start. Like, I'm all in a good mood, and I'm feeling good.
It's right when you think that you're healed that you go do something silly. So just be careful.
We're ready to go. I did text. Who knows with this program? Chaos is is how we define this program. And I did text Tony the other day to invite him in. I never heard back. You never know who's going to come wandering through that door at 7 a.m. if Tony Annan comes strolling in. But we'll get to that. A lot to do this morning. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in. Jen will hang out with us for a little while. She's got something she's got to do, and then me and her later on today will go and participate in Tony Annan's. I'm looking forward to. Jen, is that what you're wearing, by the way, to Tony's soccer?
No.
Okay, just checking. All right, because
it might be a little warm out there.
Also true. Although you're talking to Preston and I, who come in here dressed like we're ready to deal with the Antarctic.
Yes, for sure.
Maybe that's why the energy's in here, because it's not
warm.
Freezing.
I've got the door.
My bloods can flow and circulate around now today. Maybe that's what's going on.
We're ready. We're ready. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning. Plenty for us to get to, but next up, I'm not going to hold it back, and we'll get you some audio, and we'll let Preston Thorn revisit. If you didn't see what Sean Payton said yesterday, Sean Payton again just woke up. Sean Payton woke up on a Thursday morning with violence in mind and went after anybody and everybody involved in the Broncos organization, and for some reason decided to start a rivalry with the Jets.
I love it.
Random, just picking out ball clubs across the NFL. We'll let you listen to we'll let you hear Field Yates discuss that, and we'll let Preston Thorn get into that. We'll do an emergency session of Thorns, Buds, and Roses, and along the way, who knows what else we'll get into. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social.
At 107.5 The Game on Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. We continue to witness greatness, folks. A day after the Angels removed Shohei Ohtani from the trading block to make a run at a playoff bid. So what does he do? A one-hit complete game shutout in game one, and then 2 homers to pace a doubleheader sweep for the Angels. I'm Boomer Esiason. CBS Sports Radio.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
O'Reilly Auto Parts Loaner Tool Program offers more than 80 specialty tools. Refundable deposit required. Stop by O'Reilly today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and help you save time and money down the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Gary Ford, 107.5 The Game with my buddy Adam Vance from Sound and Images. Now, Adam wanted to come in, not so much talk about how great Sound and Images is as a business, wanted to address the cufflink controversy of you walking around with your initials on your shirts.
Terry, yes. I do have to address the cufflink issue. And yes, I would appreciate if you went to soundandimages.net. We've got great commercial audiovisual products for you all day long. My man, Paul McKeon, Tom James, I order some shirts. They come with initials. I come in here, I do a spoof, I do a spiff, whatever you call it.
It's a spot. That's okay. It's okay.
Sure, world boss. I do that. And then all of a sudden I get all this grief. I'm walking down the street. I'm going into, you name the store, and all these people are talking about my cufflinks. So now I'm getting my socks monogrammed. I've got my napkins, paper towel, you name it. Thanks, Terry.
Sound and Images, Adam Vance. If you want to reach out to Adam Vance, just go to soundandimages.net or call 803-791-3925.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Everyone knows the old saying, nothing lasts forever. Well, whoever said that obviously never bought a timeshare. Not only do your maintenance fees and assessment fees go on forever, they go up forever. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Over 10 years ago, I was a timeshare salesman. But once I saw the dark side of the business, I quit. I started helping folks get out of their timeshares. Since then, we've helped over 30,000 families by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit, 800-253-5151. That's 800-253-5151. 800-253-5151.
Get ready to paint Charlotte garnet and black on September 2nd when the Gamecocks kick off the season versus UNC at Bank of America Stadium. Visit GamecocksOnline.com to secure your tickets today.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And it looks pretty good right now. We are not seeing any accidents that have been reported at this time. So traffic moving along fairly well. We hope it stays that way for you on your Friday morning. We're also looking for sun and clouds today. Warm, of course. Humidity up there. And heat index is over 100. 93 for your high today. Maybe 91 tomorrow. Up to 97 with some rain possible Sunday. Right now, though, we're looking at 74 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
with Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
New head coach Sean Payton had a lot of criticism for last year's team. In this interview with USA Today's Jarrett Bell, he said, quote, of the offense, I don't know, Hackett, meaning Nathaniel Hackett, a lot of people had dirt on their hands. It wasn't just Russell. He didn't just flip. He still has it. The BS that he hit a wall, shoot, they couldn't get a play in. It might have been one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. That's how bad it was. Another quote from Sean Payton. It doesn't happen often where an NFL team or organization gets embarrassed, and that happened here. He means Denver. Part of it was their own fault relative to spending so much bleeping time trying to win the offseason. He continued with this. We're not doing any of that. The Jets did that this year. You watch. Hard Knocks, all of it. I can see it's coming.
He took out the torch, man. Sean Payton yesterday. It doesn't happen often where an NFL team or organization gets embarrassed, and that happened here. Part of it was their own fault relative to spending so much bleeping time trying to win the offseason, the PR, the pomp and circumstance, marching people around, and all this stuff. We're not doing any of that. The Jets did that this year. You watch. Hard Knocks, all of it. I can see it coming.
I love it. I'm so I
where did this Sean Payton come?
I don't know.
Wasn't there a Disney movie? Should he not be doing this?
I don't know where this guy's been resting. I don't know whether he's had the chance to evaluate some things. And it's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna say because there's sometimes when you get a little bit older, you just say whatever you feel. He's not worried about somebody taking his position. He's not worried about playing nice or the next job that he's gonna get. Wouldn't it be refreshing if coaches just came into their previous job and like, these guys stunk. They were terrible. Let me show you all the reasons why this place was really terrible. He's a hero, man. There needs to be more made of these statements by Sean Payton. Said this was one of the worst coaching jobs in NFL history.
I mean, if you get fired within 1 year,
he's not wrong.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with him. It's just we don't see.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy to have someone to say these things because he could have come in there and said, well, you know, I have a lot of respect for these guys and they've done a great job. Things just didn't work out. You know, sometimes. No. He came in and told us the truth of what he saw. And he said that they were terrible. And they were. All of them. The GM, the president, Nathaniel Hackett. He named them by name. He said, I don't know the guy, but whew, Nathaniel Hackett, not good. That's all I want. That's all I want. That's all I want.
I mean, this is
That's all I want.
It's NASCAR-esque, right? This is what makes us honestly, this is what makes us love NASCAR is a little bit of Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin and calling each other out and running each other into the wall and then getting very
joy going up to somebody's car and banging on it. Yeah, it's fun.
Austin Dillon throwing a helmet at somebody's car as it goes speeding by at 120 miles an hour.
I thought this was the NFL, man. I thought this was a place where
button down.
Yeah, I thought this is supposed to be a place where there's maximum competition and all of this extreme alpha manhood. And then you have these coaches cower. Well, these guys did a pretty good job last year, and I'm just here to do the best that I can. No, they stunk. And good thing they hired me here to come in here and fix it. I'm here for Sean Payton. We need to, who we need to get. And he's probably not awake right now, but there's only one person who can speak on this matter. It's Jay Phillips.
Oh.
We have to have the Denver correspondent, the Columbia Denver correspondent.
I believe he was so fired up. He's painted in blue and orange and was spotted in the Vista last night, just chest bumping randomly.
Don't you want your coach to come in and say that, though? After
Do you
know? Yes.
Does this put a target on their back?
I mean, it's the NFL. Why is there not a target on anybody's
because
back?
now you friendships, loyalties, all this stuff.
I don't know these guys.
Like,
I'm rich. I don't know them. What I say about Nathaniel Hackett is not going to affect my money any. Get out. I had a Disney movie made about me. I've already survived the bounty hunting scandal.
True. It's
I'm
actually
untouchable.
A good point. Yes. Again,
what can you do to me?
How would you feel? I like this. I do like this. This is taking ownership of the organization and his team. Russell Wilson will not be allowed to have a personal quarterback coach or support staff of his own in the team's complex.
I mean, it goes without saying. Almost like I just know Sean Payton walked in there and was like, "What is going on around here?" So if you're not familiar, Russell Wilson had his personal quarterback coach had an office in Russell Wilson's office in the team building, in which Russell Wilson would have meetings aside from the quarterback coach. This is not the quarterback coach. It was Russell Wilson's quarterback coach, who wasn't employed by the Broncos, I'm assuming.
No, it was his personal. Yeah, like it's like having a swing coach. I don't know how that works as a quarterback. Like I know Spencer Rattler goes back to Arizona during the summer to work with a trainer. You can speak this better than I can, but yeah, Russell Wilson had a coach. Tom Brady had a guy. Have you ever heard about this guy?
Yeah.
Like this weird sensei guru.
Yeah. And you know what Bill Belichick said? Get out of here. He said, no. We're not.
Wait, I thought he said, put on this cutoff sweatshirt and be one of us. We'll tell you what to tell him.
Bill Belichick was like, all right, I'm going to let this go for a little while. Okay, this is getting weird. No, you've got to leave. And that was one of the things that led to the downfall of this sort of relationship. Was the whole TB12 thing. It's like, we're not doing TB12. We're doing this the Patriots way.
Russell Wilson's interesting because, like, I love the athletes that we dislike that grow on us. Randy Moss is the epitome for me. Like, I was not a crazy Randy Moss fan as a player. But now, like, I love it. Man, I will watch. Like, Randy Moss is one of the analysts. Like, we talk about, like, Lee Corso. I'll give you a perfect example. I like Lee. I have no problem with Lee Corso. These people, they get really fired up about Lee Corso in College Game Day. I take Lee Corso for what he is. He's a guy who makes it lighthearted and entertaining and puts on the mascot head at the end, and I enjoy that. I don't watch ESPN Game Day for Lee Corso to tell me how to break down a game.
That's not where you're getting your analysis from.
But Randy Moss, I will actually, he's one of the few guys I will stop and listen to as he breaks down and analyzes what's happened in a game or what's going to happen. And I think Randy Moss has come from, I don't know if saying villain to great guy is the right word. I feel like Russell Wilson has gone the other way. Like Russell Wilson was the nice, awesome, wholesome, on the shorter side quarterback who was a baseball player but overcame all odds and somehow survived the Wisconsin system of running the football to go to NC State and become a good quarterback. Obviously, we remember. No, he went from NC State to Wisconsin. But we remember all that. It started with that odd in the bed video. Remember when he signed the contract extension with Seattle?
I'm very well versed in this whole everything about Russell Wilson.
He put that video out, and you're just like, dude, go put a shirt on and like stand up and thank Seattle and go to bed.
He was like, yeah,
I
just would like to thank Seattle Seahawks for signing us. But how you doing, babe? And he was laying in bed with his bride, and it was
Sierra.
It was really odd.
Yeah.
Then he started referring to himself as Mr. Unlimited. Did you miss that?
Oh, thank goodness I did.
Mm-hmm. He referred to himself exclusively as Mr. Unlimited, and he would do the video. Then he started selling some water with oxygenated bubbles that was supposed to cure CTE, which is probably not taken off the shelf because, that was a heck of a medical claim. And then there was the Denver. Let's ride. Remember the video? He had to make several videos of trying to feel like, let's ride.
Hitting it just correctly.
Let's ride. He had to keep doing it. Let's ride.
Richard says nothing against him. Great quarterback. Super corny.
And if he just would embrace his corniness, like sort of the way Eli Manning embraces his doofinesses of.
Yes,
Eli's
another guy. Eli's another guy that I think has come around where we
like him.
Question, and now it's like, oh yeah,
that's Eli.
It helps that Peyton's dragging him along. And
Right.
Peyton was another guy that early on in his career, I think Peyton changed when he did the Saturday Night Live and he was in the locker
When he
room
was throwing
dancing.
the ball at the
and-
kids too. That was awesome. But you come around and you like, here's the thing. You can be anybody you want, just be a person. So we know Eli has the dork face on his face all the time. He's like, duh. And we like, that's my guy. I
Yeah.
like Eli a lot. Peyton, he's going to wear his quarter zip. He's going to look like the stiffest man in the world, and he's going to say something he's going to give you a little zinger. We like that. We don't know who Russell Wilson is.
Nah.
And apparently Sean Payton had enough of it.
Yeah, Sean Payton is, as he says, Sean Payton said here, he said, we ran that kid, talking about Wilson. He's number one, he has said Wilson has plenty of gas left in the tank. And that's interesting just because
from a football perspective,
do you know how many years Wilson's played in the NFL? I've got it right here, so I know the answer.
Let me guess. He's creeping up on 10, I would assume.
Over.
Really?
12.
Yeah.
And because we talked yesterday about running backs and the quick lifespan that running backs have, Wilson's coming up on 12 years, has the Super Bowl, probably should have 2. I think most people would say
he should
if you give Marshawn Lynch the ball. Like,
very simple decision. Very
Mike Bobo snuck in there real quick. It was like, I got an idea. We're going to throw a pass inside the 5 with a good running back.
Bill, I have some inside reporting on that decision.
Ooh.
Landon Cohen. Shout out to Landon Cohen of Spartanburg. Went to the University of Ohio, was on that Seattle Seahawks team. He took me inside that locker room.
How'd that go?
Not great.
Yeah.
It was very bad.
We're going to go down a little football path when we come back. I got a question for Preston based on that. We'll get to that because I even remember, God, was it was Muschamp or it was Spurrier or might even have been Sean Elliott where a play kept being run and all I could imagine was the wide receiver be like, no. No. Audible.
Please
run
don't
another play.
Please don't.
I want to ask you about that. We'll get into some more. We got a whole bunch of audio we'll get to. Play some more stuff from yesterday and get back into that. I asked a question at Shane Beamer's press conference, and we're going to let you listen to a little bit about that. Let Preston weigh in on preseason games for college football teams because he's been there. He's an expert. He understands. A week from today, we'll come in here. We'll tell you about preseason football. We'll have the Jets, poor Jets. Also need to tell you about Robert Saleh yesterday because poor Robert Saleh's just trying to get ready for Hard Knocks and just taking stray bullets over here. And come on, man. Well, if you're going to break out the haters going to hate, you got to play a little Taylor Swift. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work. Oh, wait, got a text. Let's see what here it comes. Let's on air.
So much tremendous off-season content just flooded in yesterday. I mean, I just couldn't stop. I was sending the group chat.
This is our
writing the group chat.
This is our co-host. Our co-host has just texted me at 6:27 a.m. Still want me in today.
Just checking. He's just saying, "Put me in, coach. I'm available." That's all he was saying. He was saying, "Hey, look, I can."
Don't text me while we're on the show.
I can come in. No. I appreciate it. He said, "Hey," but see I wonder what that was. Was that the still want me in, or was it the
he forgot and he woke up? He literally rolled over and said, it's Friday. I told him to get in here. We'll see if Tony Annan shows up this morning.
You know how you tell somebody you're there hey, I'll be there if you need me, and you just really hope they don't call you.
Correct.
Yeah.
You just really hope that they don't. So I wonder what
we'll see what Tony's
hoping.
response is. Live radio at its finest. I got Tony Annan texting me. I told him the other day, we want you come hang out on Friday, and he texted me at 6:27. The promo that we run says he gets up at 5 to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So do we want to take
he
bets?
He did not say he just woke up. He may have been busy, may have been working out.
Put it on the poll. 803-404-6100. Yes or no? Did Tony Annan just wake up and text? Yes or no? Yes, he woke up. No, he's been awake for hours. Did Tony Annan just wake up and text us? I will put that on Twitter when we come back. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Coming soon, the biggest Gamecock ticket giveaway ever from your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Going out, purchasing a brand new car, man, it should be an awesome experience. It should give you the kind of excitement that we are having this morning. You should be thrilled. You should be excited. You should do all that research. And then, oh my goodness, you should go and have a great time because buying a car is a huge deal. And the folks that love Chevrolet understand that. That's why that sales staff is so incredible. They're so friendly. Look, I can get into a lot of things that make Love Chevrolet fantastic. I can tell you about the cookies in the lobby or the massage chairs. Those things are great. But that sales staff and the way they treat you and how knowledgeable they are, how excited they are to help you purchase that big car, that beautiful, shiny car. That's why Love Chevrolet has been in business for over 60 years. It's the customer service. It's people that you remember, you know, by first name. You think about them because they helped you make a big purchase in life. And Love Chevrolet, they do that. They take care of you. It's why I love being affiliated with the great folks at Love Chevrolet, not because they don't sell above MSRP. They give you the best deal possible, not because they have an incredible selection of vehicles, 14 acres. I love being affiliated with Love Chevrolet because of the people. And you'll learn that as well. The next time you're in the market for a car, truck, or SUV, go visit Love Chevrolet. Again, you get the largest selection, 14 acres. You get the best deal possible, the $1,000 low price guarantee, but you get a true family, people ready to help you. And that's what makes Love Chevrolet stand out amongst all the others. Go visit them. I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads.
America's fastest growing fast casual restaurant, Dave's Hot Chicken, has come to Columbia. 4601 Divine Street, right next to Moe's. Dave's Hot Chicken serves juicy, perfectly fried chicken coated in a secret spice blend that will blow your mind. Don't forget about the sides either. They have perfectly crispy fries, tangy kale slaw, and a signature mac and cheese that will have you coming back for more. Don't miss out on the best hot chicken in South Carolina, Dave's Hot Chicken, 4601 Divine Street.
Unwind and save big during Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa's annual Christmas in July gift card sale. Experience the seasonal warmth with their most affordable prices of the year. 1 hour massage and facial gift cards start at only $69.95. Discover relaxation at any of their Columbia area locations or visit handandstone.com to purchase online. Offer valid at participating locations for only a limited time. Indulge yourself or someone special with an unforgettable relaxation experience. Embrace the spirit of Christmas in July with Hand and Stone.
Hey Gamecocks, Ben Cato, third generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. Is your landscaping business losing valuable hours to pushing and trimming backyards and tight spaces? Introducing the Gravely Z stands. With deck sizes starting at 32 inches, these compact mowers feature a commercial Kawasaki engine and a 7-gauge cutting deck. With compact mowers come a compact price. We have models starting at just $71.99. The Gravely Z stance is sure to be your favorite new employee. Come check them out today at Cato's Power Equipment, 4012 West Beltline Boulevard.
I'm Taylor Bisciotti with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow was carted off the field at practice Thursday with what head coach Zach Taylor says is a calf injury. During an 11-on-11 drill, Burrow came up hobbling before going down on the field. Trainers came out to evaluate him before he was carted off. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reports Burrow will undergo further testing. Dolphins cornerback Jalen Ramsey was also carted off the field Thursday. NFL Network insiders Tom Pelissero and Mike Garafolo report Ramsey suffered a meniscus injury that requires surgery. NFL Network's Cameron Wolf reports the procedure is scheduled for today. Pelissero adds Ramsey will miss at least 6 to 8 weeks. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reports if it's a full meniscus repair, Ramsey would return in December if all goes well. And Tom Pelissero reports Dalvin Cook flew to New York for a visit with the Jets this weekend. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
You don't plan for a computer virus. You don't plan to lose files. You don't plan to knock your laptop off the counter. And you don't plan for your PC to crash or your screen to freeze. But Staples has a plan. A plan for unlimited virus protection. A plan for help when you need it 24/7. Staples Total Support Plans are your tech plans for the unplanned, starting as low as $199.99. And although you didn't plan for this, right now at Staples you can also get $250 off select computers. N729 in-store only. See associate for details.
Don't miss the final days of end-of-season deals during the Truckload event at Lowe's. Right now, save on major appliances and get an additional 10% off in-store clearance appliances. Plus, you can get up to 35% off select tools and accessories. Find big savings during the final days of the Truckload event, happening now. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/2. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Taking a look at your traffic conditions out there, we don't have any accidents to report at this time, and that is what we like to see. And as far as your forecast is concerned, we're looking for, some more warmth, basically. Looking for a high today of 93, but heat index could hit 100. 91 tomorrow, 97 for Sunday. A couple increased chances for rain over the weekend, but right now it is 74 at 107.5 The Game.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. 107.5 The Game.
Hey, you want to split this Subway sandwich? It is my signature sandwich. It's called the Danger Witch, and it's dangerously good. Be careful, though. It's spicy. You ever done anything dangerous? Jeez, that is dangerous. I've done something like that, too.
What is this? Is this Russell Wilson?
Listen, one time, never mind. That's too dangerous. Anyways, my Danger Witch, it's only in the vault. That's our little secret.
That was Russell Wilson's since removed Subway commercial from last season.
Oh, okay.
They ran it. They decided, I don't think that
this isn't working.
This is not working.
Oh my! It was so for one thing, I've never seen a Subway sandwich that thick. So we're gonna start there because if his hands were hardly around, it's like my sandwich never looks like that. But it was just so almost cringeworthy.
Fun, yeah.
Yes.
That would be the word to describe. The kids these days, they call everything cringe, and I feel Russ is a great representation of cringe.
Yeah, it was weird.
There you go.
Richard weighs in, and Richard texts a lot, and I appreciate it. He's a big part of the program. He's woke up and chose violence because he goes with Russell reminds me a lot of Chris Paul. Met Chris once and was sitting behind him for 2 hours, not even talking to him, just wanted to punch him in the face.
I can see the resemblance. Very similar characteristics. Because I feel like Russell Wilson is the guy in the locker room where he's like, come on, guys. And dudes is just like, Russell, please stop. Russell Wilson is definitely the guy.
You're the despised leader.
Yes. You're the de facto leader because, one, you're good.
Yes.
You are good. You're good. But we all really don't like you. Like if we don't have to be around you, we will not.
Who was it? The quarterback who had the cookout that nobody went to a couple years ago? It wasn't Russell Wilson, but who was that? And they all went to the backup quarterback cookout.
They were like, and only 50% of the team went to the cookout. Yeah, if Russ throws a party, it's like, man, we're gonna go because we have to, but we're not staying for long. We're not gonna be here for a long time. And again, there's cringe everywhere. But aside from that, he just didn't play well last year. And Sean Payton was alluding to was saying that maybe this guy has actually hit a physical wall, and it's very possible after 12 years in the league, saying that, yeah, maybe his best days are behind him. That's not a preposterous statement to make.
He got sacked a lot last year.
Russ always gets sacked a lot. But that's one of his things, because what he would previously be able to do is he would be able to move around the pocket, extend plays with his legs. Russ is not a dual threat guy, but he can make a lot of plays with his legs by extending the pass pocket, moving the pocket around. He'll drop way back, and he has the weird sort of ball where he throws it straight up in the air.
Yeah.
Great deep ball, but it doesn't look like it's coming down, and he always completes it. But it just wasn't working, and it hasn't worked for the past year for sure.
I was pulling up his stats on ESPN from last year: 3,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. But I'm looking at his profile picture here, and it just looks like a glamour shot. And I don't dislike Russell Wilson. It's just I want to go back. I want to ask you, because you just mentioned that Super Bowl where Russell Wilson threw the interception there at the goal line. We were all like, just hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch. He's right there. What's it like in the huddle when a play call comes in? You're like, this isn't going to work.
Ooh.
What are you thinking?
That's a tough one. That's a really tough situation because one, you hear it come in and you're like, what? You're doing, excuse me? And then, the person repeats it. And then it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy because inevitably, because you don't think it's going to work, now it's definitely not going to work because you're not going to run it as hard. You're not going to, because you're like, this is a bad play call. And then it ends up not working. And then you go back to film and it's like, it would have worked if you would have just, it's like, coach, that was a terrible call. What are you talking about? Why would you do that? My guy, Landon, said that essentially, and Marshawn has confirmed it several times. It's like Marshawn didn't shower. He just put his clothes on and left after the game was over. There was no post-game meeting, no conversation.
That's because, I mean, you're angry, but that's a huge game. It's one thing to happen in like week 14 and you like lose a game and you're like, man, coach, this was a bad call. Like, this is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And this is a chance to really go down in history as back-to-back Super Bowl champion. Like that's a little bit, I can kind of understand why that is.
They were on the verge of becoming a team that we would be considered dynasty-esque, right? And then instead of that, we just remember them as, oh yeah, that was a nice little run that they had in Seattle. It's not necessarily a dynasty. But also as players, you are gonna be the good soldier and you're gonna run it because that's what you're trained to do. And so there's that aspect of it. Whereas, and this is where football players are a little bit more robotic than I think basketball players would be, because I think there's a lot of basketball players that'd be like, no, we're not running that.
No, you just go 1-on-1.
Yeah, it's like we're doing.
Sorry, coach, it's all an opportunity.
Yeah, and I think, but football is very much structured where if the coach calls it, you run it, and that's just that's a tough one.
I'm trying to think back. It was within the last few years. So I think it was the Muschamp era, and there was a wide receiver, and I don't know what he did to the offensive coordinator, to Roper or McClendon or whomever. But this is what I go back is South Carolina tried like 3 straight times to run an end around. But it was the end around where instead of looping behind like the running back, it was straight like the jet sweep. But South Carolina, no, it wasn't even a touch pass. It was the quarterback was under center and the wide receiver ran directly behind him and you handed it off. But nobody told the right tackle is basically what it was. Because I remember the play. And so like the right tackle whiffed on the first block and the end was just standing there waiting to forearm shiver the wide receiver. But South Carolina ran it like 3 times. And I started laughing halfway through because I was like, the play comes in and the wide receiver's going to be like, no, I'm not running that again. Like,
I know exactly the play you're talking about, and I can tell you exactly what happened. What's supposed to happen on that play is they call this influence blocking, is that the right tackle is supposed to block down, and the defensive end is supposed to just magically go with them. And you are counting on this happening. And when it doesn't happen, the play's blown up. Everyone's like, well, why did you go with them?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I didn't, because I saw the ball coming. And you keep running that, hoping that he does what he's supposed to do, and he doesn't do it. And you're like, oh, well, this play's not going to work.
Yeah, I forget. Gosh, if I could remember who it was. And it was in the Muschamp, and they ran it like 3 consecutive times, just convinced that end was, and every time the end was just standing there like, I got you, big guy. Come on this way. Just come right around this edge. I'm waiting on you.
Yeah, that's a tough situation, man. Because sometimes as a player, it's like, man, this play. Yes, this is the time to hash up old feelings. I don't know anybody that was in that huddle, but I need to know what was going through those players' minds at Tennessee 2 years ago when they said, we're going to hand the ball to Jordan Birch, and you're going to throw the ball in the end zone.
3 quarters, I didn't think that was Jordan Birch. If you want to revisit that, we got to hit a break. But for 3 quarters, I didn't. I had people tell me like, "What did they just do?" I was like, "No, it wasn't Jordan Birch."
Oh, it was.
I can't. Who was the other number 3? Was he 3? I can't remember.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
so.
whatever his number, or 5. Yeah, it was 5 because I was like, when it happened, they were like Jordan Birch. I was like, the idiot announcers. They got it was DeCarrion Joyner. For 3 quarters, I argued with anybody who would text me that it was. I finally, after the game, realized it. Oh,
it was.
It was Jordan Birch.
And I just would love to know when that play came in, everybody was like, what? We're going to do what?
803-404-61. Let's go down. We're going to the worst play calls you've ever seen. Just singular, not worst games called, not like I'm trying to think back. There was I don't know. There was another one that it was one of the old Spurrier-esque plays where they ran the left tackle was an eligible receiver, and it didn't go. And I think it was G.A. Mangus and Sean Elliott that ran it in the Florida game in which they were doing, and it just went poorly. 803-404-6100. Tony Annan also, I think, is now officially awake. He's texted me that he hears us talking. Okay.
Which, by the way, if he was to say that in his accent, I would get nervous. He'd be like, I hear you talking.
He's got a good tweet up though. He's got some good times at Chelsea and Newcastle.
Oh,
so,
great pictures.
Yeah. So we will catch up with. I assume Tony Annan will come in studio this morning, and we'll hang out with him. Should be a lot of fun, and we'll find out. Did he wake up and remember that we kind of wanted him on air? We'll get to the bottom of that. We'll ask him some questions. Get into the Jets side of things. Some more audio. We'll get into this preseason game. Should college football have some kind of preseason scrimmage? 803-404-6100. Early game. 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
If you haven't been outside lately, well, congratulations. It's hot. That means you probably have a brand new air conditioner in your house and you're living life the right way. But if you don't have an air conditioner or something's been clinking or clunking, it's time to call AAA Heating and Air. Get them out to your house. I did this back in February. They were absolutely fantastic, from giving me the estimate to explaining how it would save me money to the installation and the cleanup. The whole process was simple. It was easy, and I can't thank AAA Heating and Air enough for coming out and taking care of me and the kids. And trust me, you will be appreciative too. AAA Heating and Air right now, you can save money. You can get tax credits. Find out about the Inflation Reduction Act. Call the Comfort Advisors at AAA Heating and Air today. Get new comfort in your home tomorrow with a phone call today. 803-677-1500. The Inflation Reduction Act can save you up to $3,800 in tax credits. You heard that right. For more information, again, call the Comfort Advisors at AAA Heating and Air today. 803-677-1500. On top of that, AAA Heating and Air has great deals for everybody. They'll offer you a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit. Then they guarantee financing for everybody. And on top of all that, they offer a 15-year parts and labor warranty. So call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Sponsored by Security Federal Bank, helping people, changing lives since 1922. Member FDIC.
If you think all banks are the same, come experience the difference at Security Federal Bank. Security Federal Bank has unmatched customer service and a hometown feel because we're a hometown bank. Security Federal Bank, helping people, changing lives. Member FDIC.
Sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and help you save time and money down the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
No one likes to talk about the injuries, pain, disability, and lost loved ones that result from terrible car and tractor-trailer accidents. I'm Jason Reynolds. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we're honored to be the lawyers our clients rely on during their toughest moments.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When a work injury disrupts your life, I work hard to get you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring correctional officers, nurses, food services, facilities maintenance, mental health professionals, law enforcement officers, teachers, and more statewide. There are sign-on bonuses for officers, food services, nurses, and law enforcement officers. South Carolina Department of Corrections has great employee benefits, like 6 weeks of PTO accrued yearly and police officer retirement. Start a rewarding new career today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostetler Brown. Do you know the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust? The difference could easily save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in long-term care costs. Visit lawyerlisa.com to schedule a consultation today.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Daddy, you need a trust.
Pete Airline Pool and Spa is the Midlands leader in-ground vinyl fiberglass and gunite swimming pool design and installation. From start to finish, the Pete Airline Pool and Spa team will be with you to ensure your backyard dream becomes a reality. But they don't just build swimming pools, they're here to service existing ones as well. Weekly pool cleanings, equipment repair and upgrades, final pool liner replacements, pool inspections, hot tub repairs, and more. Pete Airline Pool and Spa, located in Lexington and online at PeteAirlinePools.com. Like the two beverages, ale and wine, Pete Airline Pool and Spa.
Yes, we're stranded off the Main Street exit northbound. How fast can you be here?
I just want to check under the hood while we wait.
Hold on just a sec. Honey, it's dark out. I don't think it's a good idea to get out.
I'm sure it'll take them a while.
They're here?
Wow.
We're not that fast, but we're pretty close. When you're in a pickle because you drive a lemon, call Schroeder's Towing. Don't be left on the side of the road distressed. That's Schroeder's Towing with over 1,200 Google reviews. Call now at 772-7930.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest bookers in town.
One search engine is used by 9 out of 10 consumers. Hint, the name begins with a G. And there are hundreds of things that go into being ranked highly by that engine. Your website, your business profile, even your social accounts. A couple of slip-ups and you find yourself on page 7. But at Cumulus Boost, we have the experts and resources to fix what's wrong and boost your findability so you can rank higher than your competition. Get started today at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS boost.com.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for the Hood team at Coldwell Banker. You know, the Columbia real estate market continues to evolve. In fact, our market is now one of the fastest growing in all of the United States. Danny Hood, Karen Hood, their son, William DiMaggio, have more than 37 years of experience in Columbia real estate, and they're ready to help you, whether it's buying or selling your home. 803-730-2512, thehoodteam.com. Put those years of experience to work for you with the Hood team.
Sponsored by SC Johnson Off.
This is Pretection. Yep, Pretection. The everyday skin protection ritual that protects your skin from mosquitoes. Prevention is the best protection. Off, the #1 dermatologist recommended repellent brand, SC Johnson.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, a happy Friday to you. And on this morning, it's time for a First Alert traffic update. It has been a calm one around the region as we're rolling on forward here. Nothing with major confirmed collisions or big backups causing problems are heavily traveled roadways and interstates. If anything major changes, we'll be sure to let you know later this morning. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm meteorologist Tony Schifaroli. Make it a great travel Friday.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
So we have a very short amount of time, but can I ask you guys a question? Did you see anything about the Cubs game last night? Cubs, the Cardinals?
No.
Yeah, well, so this is the first inning, and Ian Happ was up to bat, does a backswing, you know, when he's swinging and ends up hitting the catcher, Contreras, nails him in the head. Now they're friends, but, you know, felt bad, and, you know, Contreras is bleeding and whatever. Well, of course, then you get the pitcher who thinks that's on purpose. So he zings one in close, you know, when they get Contreras out, and then, you know, to be tended to. So the pitcher you know, basically buzzes him. Next time hits him square in the hip. And it's like, okay, dude. And I know that's, you know, I know that can be baseball and stuff, but clearly you're not trying to hit somebody in the head with a bat. So the umps come out and they decide, talk to him a little bit more, out, you know. Well, then of course the manager comes out and he's like, you know what, you know, and so he too gets ousted. So my question quickly is, should they have kicked him out for dinging the batter.
The retaliation.
Yeah. And, and Hap took it. He just is like, yep, got a base for my team, so, but it's like, in a way, I think, yeah.
I like what
think
Hap
they
said,
eject
though.
him.
Did you see what Ian Happ said afterwards?
I did see one interview.
He said, I just went to first base.
Yeah.
You wear it. Kind of felt like he was coming in there. Like, it's like, oh, man, I know what's going to happen next.
You just happen to be the next person coming up. You're like, oh, boy, here we go.
No, he's not even the next person coming up. He's still standing in the box after he's clunked his buddy. He gave him a hug.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. I mean,
You may as well just turn and like face backward and just be like, hit me in the back. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
But the announcers were clearly Cardinals announcers, because then they were having just a big fit. They're like, that's not it. You're not playing baseball right. If you're going to kick out the pitcher, if you're going to eject him, that's not right. So clearly they were one-sided. I don't know. I've seen reactions on both sides. Should they have tossed him or not? Because he intentionally pinged him a couple, technically a couple times almost, but.
Yeah, but he hit him on the hip, right?
He hit him on the hip.
They're smart. They know where to hit. I mean,
Oh,
look,
they do. Yeah.
the higher up you go, the more severe that your punishment is.
But but again, do you really think he intentionally smacked a guy upside the head?
No, but if the rule in baseball is if you intentionally plunk somebody, you technically kind of broken a rule now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you shooting the Nerf gun is pretty intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You did it on purpose.
I did.
Yeah, there you go. I'm glad we can admit that. Hour 2 is on the way. I got a bunch of questions for Preston Thorne, and we're going to talk preseason. What'd you think every time you saw Corey Jenkins running up the middle? We'll get to that. 803-404-6100, hour 2.
FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is Carolina men's head golf coach Bill McDonald. You're listening to WNKT FM 107.5, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Hello and welcome to The Kroger Show. At Kroger, everyone wins when it comes to saving big. Because
Okay. Yeah, I'm rolling. So you can go whenever.
Preston Thorne here for the Red Shirt Guys. They believe roofing is craft and not commodity. What set the Red Shirt Guys apart is their commitment to staying up to date. They receive training in the latest installation techniques and products. That's why they are the Midland's highest rated roofing company. Here's the bottom line. At the Red Shirt Guys, they know roofing. They do the right thing on and off the roof, and they will be here long after the job is complete. Residential or commercial, choose the Red Shirt Guys Roofing. Request a free quote online or call them at 243-3968. TheRedShirtGuys.com.
Time when we're all away from each other, it is still important to communicate and stay productive. Contact SOS and let us see what we can do to help you with your copier or printer. All systems include remote support, remote setup, and troubleshooting. Call us at 888-914-7476 or visit our website at mysimplifiedoffice.com. Thank you, be safe, and be strong.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the Shades of Summer sale, July 28th through August 7th, and get 35% off paints and stains with prices starting at $28.92. That means 35% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 35% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of fresh steamed, melty cheese, succulently saucy, Sully's Steamer's original Italian.
This is actually the Griswold. It's turkey, bacon, provolone, and pepper jack cheese, all steamed on my favorite, an everything bagel.
That sounds delicious.
So, are you gonna order one? With over 30 unique mouthwatering sandwiches, and not to mention 11 different bagels to build them on, it's not always that easy. Come find us at 2835 Divine Street. Make sure to remember the napkins. We're a hot mess.
It's the Love Chevrolet countdown to Gamecock football.
36 days till kickoff.
Your trusted family-owned dealership since 1961. Get the vehicle you want, not the one you have to settle for. Love Chevy, South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Find new roads. What you're talking about
On 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. No hassles, no all-day runarounds, no ridiculous add-on stickers. At Love Chevy, buying a car is fun. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
With Bill Gunter.
South Carolina receiver Juice Wells and his dog Sosa have signed an NIL deal with the Farmer's Dog. It's a brand of, I don't have a
highfalutin dog food.
This dog Sosa needs to go on a diet.
He's not.
Have you seen this dog?
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
So in that commercial, I don't think Sosa really enjoyed that commercial much because he has to run up a hill, and I don't know if he was very happy about running up that hill. The dog food must be tremendous. Good.
And Jen Jensen.
He ran up the hill because there was a cupcake at the top of the hill. That's what it was.
Shout out to Sosa.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
107.5 The Game.
$7:03 on a Friday morning as we patiently wait for our co-host Tony Annan, who is sending text messages letting me know it's on. He woke up, remembered that we offered for him to come in this morning to come join us to cut up and talk, and so he sent that text message that you send when you don't really want to go somewhere and you're hoping the answer is, don't worry about it, we'll be good without you. He said, you still want me today? You still want me to come in?
That's my question. When you offer, when you say I'm here when you need me, do you really want to be called?
Yeah.
That's what I want.
That was his. He sent that to that. That's the one. Like, man, I forgot. I'm gonna be nice and send a text, but I'm hoping the answer is they're already 30 minutes into the show. I mean, by the time I get there, by the time I do everything, like, yeah, he's got a media event today that we're gonna go to and participate. I'm actually, just in case I didn't make it home, I went ahead and put on tennis shoes just in case. Don't want to get out the boots. Jen, make sure you call them boots today if for the cleats.
Okay, so I regular tennis shoes should be okay. I don't have to
Sure,
put on
regular
like golf
boots.
cleats. And
Regular boots.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but we patiently await his arrival. Apparently around here we run on Tony Annan time.
Well, and honestly, it could be a case where he was more wanting to make sure, do you want me to come in because are you going to pepper me with Pop-Tart questions again? Because I'm not here for that.
Oh, he's
I'm
getting
not
all the
really
serious
for it.
questions today.
Okay. So that's what he's checking on, I bet.
We're gonna hold him. He must have got here quick. I don't even know if they unlocked the door to let him in. I don't know if somebody unlocked the door. I think he just ripped the door open to get in the studios. Tony Annan joining us here in a few minutes. It's just fresh. It just shows a big media event. We're gonna go and hang out today and talk a little soccer. It's been a fun week, and
The way he walked in, I think it's more of it's on like Donkey Kong.
yeah,
kind of
he's
thing.
ready to go. He's fired up
he's
and ready to go. It's a big. He's got about a week. Yeah, about a week and a half, I think, until he gets his players out on the pitch and really gets going. So this will be one of the few times we get him before the season starts. Real quick, as he's getting set up, I do want to go back because Richard laughs on the text, and I got to ask you, like, when you were playing, did you keep up with the offensive play calls? Did you know how much was going on?
Not as frequently. The only whenever you start paying attention, whenever you realize you keep hearing punt team again, because I was on punt team,
right?
And so you just come off the field, you sat down, maybe you had a sip, and then you hear them say hot team, and you're like, again, and then you're starting to worry. Well, what exactly are they doing over there?
Okay,
and then you start paying attention.
So I go back, like when you just saw Corey Jenkins run up the middle, like he says on 3rd and 12. Are you like looking down like, gosh?
That's a great question, and I'm gonna make sure that we get Corey Jenkins on this on this program so that Corey can answer that, because I'm sure Corey, being the great athlete, he's like, I can get it.
Oh yeah,
I can do this.
Yeah, he's excited about the play call, but there's 10 other players on offense, and the defense was like, dude, pass, man.
He's gonna run it again.
How you coming down there, Coach? Struggling?
You've done this on purpose, haven't you?
Sabotage.
We just completely set you up this morning. Yeah, you get it? You hear now?
No, I can hear you, but I can't hear you through my headphones.
We'll fix that in a second. I'll come down there and get it set up for you. How you doing? Tell us a little bit about the match the other night as I come get you set up.
It was good. It was really good. It's good to see Premier League live. Beautiful stadium, and obviously Newcastle played really well. And it was a good game. And obviously Miguel scored for Newcastle, which was his homecoming to Atlanta. So Atlanta went crazy, and all the neutrals that were in the stadium obviously were there to see Miguel. So it was awesome.
Term neutrals.
Yeah, there was a lot of non-Chelsea, non-Newcastle fans. They were just there for the spectacle or for the game to support. And most of them are from Atlanta and remembered Miguel and what he did for the city. So they went nuts when he came out, and they went nuts when he scored.
Have you been over to Mercedes-Benz Stadium? Have you been?
I have not. I've not. Well, I went. I was supposed to go into the way back in the SEC championship.
Well, that was different. That was the Georgia Dome. And it's in the same vicinity.
That's correct.
It's in the same vicinity, but I say this because the way they've kind of built it, obviously we had to do the College Football Hall of Fame is right there. And I think it's the Omni. Which has got some nice little bars in it. And they've got a nice little, I can't remember the name of a seafood place.
Cormac and Schmidt.
Yeah, yes. Great. Did you go there?
I've been there a few times.
Yeah, sure. What am I thinking? You live there. That's true. Good point. Thank you.
I worked at the Benz.
yeah, good point. It's really good. And I say that because South Carolina's going over there in 2025 to play Virginia Tech to open the season, and it's a really cool setup. You can actually kind of tailgate around the stadium without setting up your tent and your cornhole boards and your own personal tailgate. You can kind of go to some bars. I guess soccer, you can't really schedule a neutral site game, can you? I guess you could, but it's a little more difficult. Like, say, if you wanted to play
for us,
yeah,
we're trying to schedule something with UNC Chapel Hill, like the football team is, for like a Carolina Cup. We've talked about it, so we're trying to find a neutral site for that.
But you wouldn't be able to do it'd be really.
We wouldn't be able to open the Bank of America Stadium,
right,
for soccer.
Yeah,
or our soccer, sorry. But we've talked about it, so we're ongoing talks about trying to do it. It'd be a pretty cool event.
Yeah, that'd be real cool. So we'll get more into that with you. Glad you made it.
Yeah, I'm fresh out the pool this morning, man. I've been up since 5. I've been waiting for you.
Well, I tell you, yeah,
one of your loyal listeners texted me to tell me you were talking crap about my text. So I think I'm getting some loyal listeners now, eh?
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, you got a big media event today, and we're going to hang out with you here later on this afternoon. We'll talk a little bit about that. Messi is having the time of his life, isn't he?
Doesn't he look happy?
I mean, just he can go to Publix.
Yeah.
He's just another dude wandering around, just another guy sent to the grocery store by his wife to pick up some milk or something. He's scoring goals with no problem. I mean, do we understand his level of play compared to the MLS?
I think we're witnessing it. But don't forget Busquets, because Busquets is making the passes that connect the whole thing. Like, I get it. All the focus is on the GOAT, right? He is the GOAT, and I think he always will be. But Busquets is absolutely walking through games and destroying teams. Like, I watch him more than I watch Messi.
Well, but I told Preston, like, these two, the other night, Busquets popped one over the top of the defense. Unfortunately, it was the Atlanta United.
Well, the centre-back stepped out, and he shouldn't have. When there's no pressure on Busquets, you don't step out. You stay deep and you cover your back. And
but that's his point. He saw it, and he was just like, "Oh,
yeah,
I got this,"
and just picked it out.
And he's got to be doing the same thing as go back and just be like, "Do you see these guys?"
I hope they don't get bored. You know what I mean? Like, teams will start to adjust. Teams will start to change their tactic against them, which I hope will make it a bit more competitive. But right now, it's men versus boys.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. 803-404-6100. That's how you can weigh in this morning. Coach Tony Anna now in with us. We'll continue to cut up, have a good time. It's a Friday morning, final Friday of July. Unbelievable how fast we have moved from January through the end of July. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Soon, the biggest Gamecock ticket giveaway ever from your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Press here for Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshields, no problem. They'll come out to your location and replace it for you, usually for free, and they'll work directly with your insurance to take away the headache. So if you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows and mirrors, Absolute Glass will come out and take care of all of that for you. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. Say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Mariana Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by WeatherGuard Truck Boxes. If it's a job worth doing, it's a job worth WeatherGuard. I'm lowering the boom on Denver coach Sean Payton for trashing predecessor Nathaniel Hackett. It might have been one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL, Payton told USA Today. That's how bad it was. No class, Sean. Low class, Sean. I'm Boomer Esiason.
CBS Sports Radio.
WeatherGuard, the name that stands for unmatched security in truck boxes, is now making a name for itself on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series circuit. WeatherGuard is the official sponsor of the safety and security work crews at Speedway Motorsports tracks across the country. Engineered to meet the demands from job sites to race sites, WeatherGuard truck boxes feature double welded seams, weather-tight seals, and high security latches and locks. If it's a job worth doing, it's a job worth WeatherGuard. Learn more at weatherguard.com/truck.
Don't miss the final days of end-of-season deals during the Truckload event at Lowe's. Right now, save on major appliances and get an additional 10% off in-store clearance appliances. Plus, you can get up to 35% off select tools and accessories. Find big savings during the final days of the Truckload event, happening now. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/2. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
Sponsored by Mattress Firm. Big savings on better sleep are happening. It's Black Friday now at Mattress Firm. Save up to $500 on select mattresses from Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Sealy. See a Mattress Firm sleep expert today to find your perfect bed with a low price guarantee.
Introducing Herndon Certified. Herndon Certified used vehicles are quality assured and come with our 60-day warranty, complete with nationwide coverage. Don't just buy a used car. Buy a Herndon Certified used car and drive with confidence, knowing Herndon's got you covered. Find your perfect pre-owned in-store or online at HerndonChevy.com.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile. Smile.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service, Guy Gant's company. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are the Gant girls. You know, Chelsea and Madison. You know some of the things they do at Pioneer Tree Service? Tree and shrub removal, tree pruning and thinning, tree planting, tree bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, demolition and rock removal, right-of-way maintenance. You got to get in touch with these people. 803-794-8253. Let me give you that again. 803-794-8253. Call right now and get a free estimate for the most challenging jobs, Pioneer Tree Service. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust, and that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service.
803-794-8253. Or find us online at pioneertreesc.com.
Call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote.
Managing your online presence takes time, effort, and expertise. It can overwhelm even the savviest business owner. So, meet Cumulus Boost. We're experts at boosting the online presence for businesses of every type. We make sure potential customers can easily find you and really like what they find. Your website, online listings, consumer reviews, and more. Cumulus Boost. Online at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS boost.com.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews, and you've got the Rich Eisen Show podcast.
There will be a time where I think I'm going to turn to my grandchildren, knock on wood. Hey, want to see some great moments? It's called a kickoff. They'll be like, what's that? I hate it. At some point, there's got to be someone standing up in the room for the content, for the fans. We're essentially legislating those moments away. And what's left? Fantasy football.
The Rich Eisen Show podcast, wherever you listen.
the Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, a happy Friday to you. And on this morning, it's time for a First Alert traffic update. It has been a calm one around the region as we're rolling on forward here. Nothing with major confirmed collisions or big backups causing problems are heavily traveled roadways and interstates. If anything major changes, we'll be sure to let you know later this morning. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm meteorologist Tony Schiaparoli. Make it a great travel Friday.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Seven 18 on a Friday morning, July the 28th, as we wrap up the month of July. We'll have Monday the 31st, and that'll be it. And it'll be time to move into the month of August. We'll get the soccer season going for Coach Annan, and next Friday, Shane Beamer will get his team on the field for the first time this coming season. Preston, we've kind of talked about it, and I'll play the audio in just a minute. I asked a question. I went and did a media thing, Shane's. I know you were out of town, so you didn't play in the golf tournament on Wednesday, but I actually asked a question. We'll play that in just a second. You get the benefit, Coach, of preseason games and you don't. I don't know how it works. You can explain it to me so that I don't mess it up. I was gonna say you don't back down. Like NC State is I would assume a great exhibition game. You're gonna go to Raleigh on the 13th, I think.
Sunday the 13th.
Sunday the 13th, and then you come back home for another exhibition game against Wofford on the 18th. You're able to use those games to prepare because you want to win, but you're able to use those. Those are so beneficial in what ways for you to be able to rotate and try different things before you get into your legitimate season.
Yeah, I think, we play those games to win, obviously, but winning is not the most important part of those two games. It's feeling out your squad. It's seeing who fits. Have you done what you need to do in the previous 10 days of training, or this will be the previous 5 days of training? Have you done what you need to do? Are things clicking? Where are we short? What are we doing wrong? What do we need to address in the next 5 days? So it's kind of feeling it all out with those games. And I think they're a huge benefit before we hit the road and obviously the record starts,
Preston, I don't know if you heard Coach Beamer's response on Wednesday to play. We heard Mac Brown talk about wishing he had a game prior to South Carolina because it's such a big game. What do you remember about just going straight into the season? I'm trying to think. Was it New Mexico State your freshman year? Louisiana Lafayette 1 year. Vanderbilt was your senior year. What do you remember about just straight out of the gate, no competition against anybody outside of your own?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Obviously, you have scout teams and you have scouting plays, and have an idea what you think that the team is going to run. But what makes the difference as far as between a game and scrimmages or a game and practices is all of the extracurriculars that are going around. And so specifically with football, where do we go after a drive is over? Where's the water going to be situated? Which coach is going to be talking to me? Is this our bench or is this their bench? Where does the punt team stand when they have to punt? All of these different kind of little nuances that you have to continuously practice throughout the summer to get prepared for a game. And you can practice them all you want, but nothing really prepares you for the urgency of a game. And so that's really what coaches want when they talk about preseason matches.
You get, Coach, you get at least what'd you play? 5? I don't know what to label it. Spring matches that you can work on that with your kids.
Yeah, we got 5 play dates for the spring, and we get another 3 to 4 if we go international. You're allowed to go international every 4 years. So I think the possibility of us going international this coming spring may happen, but I don't know yet. But that would give us 9 games in the spring if we went and did that. So we get 5 spring dates. We can play anybody we want on those 5 dates. We could even play 2 teams on one day. So you squeeze another game in. It's a 5 play dates. So
you can play. You could
Play a
do
doubleheader.
what is academy soccer, club soccer. I mean, they 9 a.m. and 4 p.m.
tournament style.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get that. I mean, obviously, there's a ton of rules with the NCAA that I think should be looked at, and I think football is one of them. Where I think there should be a preseason game, at least one. I mean, what sport do you know where you don't get a warm-up game before you hit the most important part of your season?
At every level of football, there's warm-ups, there's scrimmages. So
Every sport.
high school scrimmages, and I'm just saying, even specifically football, you
Yeah.
scrimmage in high school, you scrimmage in the NFL. College is the only place where you don't scrimmage, and there's a lot of reasons. And I think it's because college coaches are so secretive. Everything is top secret. Everything is, we don't want anybody to see what we're doing. If they saw this guy, they say it's under the guise of injuries, but really, I think it's more so everybody's just so secretive, guarded about what they're doing. We don't want anybody to know what we're doing. And I think it's more of a college football culture. Will they get us on film? Will they get our signals? All of those different types of things, I think, really plays into that part.
We have rules where you're not supposed to exchange games in preseason. So if Clemson called me and said, "Hey, can you give me the NC State tape?" I couldn't do that.
Correct. However,
I know.
Oh, okay.
I do know somebody had tape on us from preseason last year because
and that's the issue. We know what the rules, because it's the same thing in high school. You're only supposed to exchange the last 3 games. However, if I coached with a coach a couple of years ago, I could say, "Hey, Bill, give me that film." And then
If
Bill,
that film is accidentally laying in the seat of your car at a
Listen,
Walmart
I'm
and the
just
doors
telling
unlocked.
you, I've met people at McDonald's. I've met people at midnight after games. I've met people on Sundays at church to get film. I'm just telling you it happens. So, but also everybody knows that it's happening. So it's
At what point?
6-1.
At what point do you know what the other team is? Like South Carolina's going to play one football game. Does at that point Georgia go, "Oh yeah, okay, that they are what we thought"? Like, yes, I know you. At some point, Coach, you're going to add wrinkles to your system. But at what point does everybody know who you are as a team? Is it game 1? Is it game 4? You like at what point will you look at?
yeah, I mean, with soccer it's different to football. Football's a little bit more sort of complex, I guess, with all the players and everything else. But soccer, you kind of are who you are. It's easy to see your tactics. It's easy to see what you do as a team and the identity of your team and how you press and how you attack and you build. And it's quite easy to see and analyze how they do it. So it's not like, what I probably won't do is give away all our set pieces in the first preseason game. We may try 1 or 2, but we're not going to roll all 4 or 5 options that we have out, So you try to sort of disguise or hide a little bit, but it's not like, I think with us, the philosophy is this is who we are, this is how we're going to play, and it's up to them to stop us.
Put this on me if I misword it, because I don't want to give anybody bulletin board material, but I think you can understand what I say. I'm going to compare Shane opening with North Carolina, massive game. Your third game is Clemson, and obviously that means a lot to people here beating Clemson. You've got you got 4, but you've got 2 regular season games, Campbell and Gardner-Webb, that mean something, that you're going to win. You like having, because last year, correct me if I'm wrong, last year your season opener was Clemson. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah. We didn't open with Clemson.
That was, you had some.
We had 2 games before Clemson.
Okay. All right. I don't have your.
Next season is we open against Clemson here.
Next season you open.
The way the season's looking, it looks like we're going to open.
So I asked that because, again, to go back on that, what I'm asking is, Mac Brown said he would rather have a game prior to South Carolina. Do you like, because again, the Clemson game, it matters more.
It's a big game.
It matters more. You like having those 2 games to kind of make sure you get your team mentally ready to play basically 180 minutes prior to that game? And you also, one of those, you got to go on the road because you're going to have to get your guys ready to go up to their stadium, whatever their stadium's name is.
Historic Riggs.
Riggs. Yes, I leave out. It's kind of like I just call it Memorial Stadium is where they play football.
Yeah, I'm not giving anybody any bulletin board material. I've already done that in the past.
Good job.
But they gave me some too. So, we are going on the road to Campbell,
right?
First game, and that's kind of by design because I wanted to get the guys away on the road dealing with that before we have to go up there. Now, Campbell's not a huge crowd, I don't think. It's not the crowd that'll be at Clemson, which is hostile and, they're non-stop in my ear. Like,
right.
Not the players here so much, but
it's a rivalry. I mean, it's going to be that way.
It's a tough place to play. It's packed. They make a big deal out of it, and it's like we do. And it's a tough place to go and play. So I didn't want to have a cushy preseason where we play at home, we play at home, we play at home, we play at home, and then we go play Clemson. So that's why I've scheduled NC State away. We scheduled Campbell away so that we've got 2 games before we play Clemson at least where we're in an environment. Like NC State's environment is going to be a little bit similar to Clemson's, even though it's an exhibition. There'll be a lot of people there. It's an ACC school. So you kind of do that by design, hopefully. And the players handle it a little better than they would if you went straight in there with no away experience.
803-404-6100. I want to get into that exhibition, how you schedule that, because that's interesting with what you said and how you line up an exhibition game to challenge your team and how maybe Shane would do it, going back to what y'all said. We'll get into that a little bit, get back into some of that messy discussion, a whole bunch to get into this morning with Coach. Glad you made it.
Yeah, I saw your poll on Twitter too. Thanks.
I think it was 100% that you just wrote, but you were
that
saying.
Is a complete wrong statement because I was in the pool. I got out the pool and I said, I wonder if I'm still on the radio this morning. So I texted you.
100% saying, yeah, he just woke up.
Well, 100% wrong.
Yeah, 100. Hey, everybody's in agreement. Coach has had a busy week. It's a Friday. He's got a media event. He's got to deal with Jen and I and maybe Preston later on. Oh, we got a lot to do. But glad you're here. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game. 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game Summer Golf Classic is Friday, August 25th at Charwood Golf Club. We'll be giving away a pair of season football tickets at our raffle, Clemson included, plus other prizes like tickets to the home opener versus Furman, tickets to Carowinds, and a Cumulus Columbia Craft Beer Passport. There's a 9:30 shotgun start and lunch provided by Firehouse Subs. It's $400 per foursome, $100 a person. Call Charwood to register, 803-755-2000. The tournament will fill up, so call and register early.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's a $7,500 sign-on bonus and increased pay for most security positions. Start a rewarding new career with great benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply now or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
Looks like we had a lot of rain. All the lines were marked, but I don't see the fiber marks.
I don't see fiber marks either. We should call 811.
We don't have time to wait.
Stop. I think you hit the fiber line.
Uh-oh.
Reduce the risk of underground utility damage. If the markings aren't visible, call or click SC811 before you dig. Sponsored by SC811, aired by SCBA and this station.
Hey, this is Chastity from the Gutter Men. We have been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 47 years. We make and install seamless gutters in variety sizes and colors for residential and commercial to suit your needs. Call our guys in the powder blue trucks, 803-791-7147. That's 803-791-7147.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the Gutter Man.
Hey, this is Matt Rogers from Hazelwood Brewing Company, the town of Lexington's premier brewery, taproom, and beer garden, conveniently located right on Main Street. Live music, food trucks, and a rotating selection of 10 award-winning handcrafted beers, plus a selection of wine, cider, and beer slushies. Check out hazelwoodbeerco.com and follow on social media for a current list of what's happening. hazelwoodbeerco.com. Hazelwood, it's all good in the wood.
It's the final days of the month at Galliana Chrysler Jeep Kia. 100 new and pre-owned vehicles must be sold by July 31st at whatever price it takes. All reasonable offers will be considered. Plus, we've got factory support of this sale, including 0% APR financing on select models. And you could win a free TV just for walking in. 2023 Kia Rio LX, just $16,990. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $12,200. Bring any vehicle that you'd like to sell or trade. We'll over-allow on your trade to make a deal. 100 new and pre-owned vehicles must be sold by July 31st. So arrive early and be prepared to drive home a bargain at Galliana Chrysler Jeep Kia on Greystone. I-126 Sioux Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com.
Gotta go to
Real stock number 3K1127. Compass stock number 39004. 24 months, 20,000 mile, one pay lease. 12,200 due at signing plus tax tag and 489 closing fee. No security deposit. 3166 per month for 1,000 borrowed for 24 months at 0 APR with 0 down. Offers don't combine.
Hi, my name is John, and I'm self-employed, and we got sidetracked on our taxes at the 2008 recession, and it became a monster that we couldn't tackle ourselves. We heard about the Ecton Law Firm on the radio and contacted John. If you could classify someone as a miracle worker, I would put him at the top of the list because he took our problem and resolved it for us with our not only our unpaid taxes, but our unfiled tax returns from previous years. And I would highly recommend the Ecton Law Firm.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced. Let our professional parts people test your battery for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
There's no better place to be on a fall Saturday than at Williams-Brice Stadium. Secure your tickets today to catch a game this fall. Visit thegamecockclub.com for more information. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
This week only, you can get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned plus a free hallway from Zerorez for only $109. This offer ends this week, so schedule your appointment now before it's too late. Schedule online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey everyone, a happy Friday to you. And on this morning, it's time for a First Alert traffic update. It has been a calm one around the region as we're rolling on forward here. Nothing with major confirmed collisions or big backups causing problems are heavily traveled roadways and interstates. If anything major changes, we'll be sure to let you know later this morning. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm meteorologist Tony Schiaparoli. Make it a great travel Friday.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. 1075 The Game.
$7:35 on a Friday morning. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Tyler Head now stepping in for Jen Jensen. She's got an errand she's got to run, but she will join me later as we will head out to Tony Annan's Media Day. Media Day, I like this. It's kind of a new thing that you're doing. Get them out, get us media. Although I don't consider myself media, but consider myself more of just a early morning talk show host. That's really, sometimes I ask you about Pop-Tarts.
You said it.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad you're in agreement. I did ask this question the other day to Shane Beamer about opening with North Carolina. Here was his response in terms of what Mac Brown said, how it pertains to South Carolina and Shane Beamer's mindset.
I love it. One, I would agree with him, not necessarily a game. I would love, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, a preseason game or a scrimmage against another program would be awesome. I've been saying that for 15 years to lead into it. Because as you guys have heard me say, we're the only sport at any level that doesn't get a preseason exhibition game, scrimmage, whatever, any sport, any level. So I'd love to see that change. I like it because it's one of those. It's early in the season. Oregon got the what beat out of them by Georgia last season in game 1. I mean, was it 49-3? And went on and had a fantastic season, won the Holiday Bowl, and that's all anybody talks about. Point being that no matter what happens in this North Carolina game, you have 11 games after that, and it's a long, long season. So I love it just from the standpoint, the urgency that it creates with your players throughout the summer, the excitement the fans are going to have and already have about that game, the electric atmosphere that we're going to get to play in Charlotte on that night. National television. I mean, it's awesome. From an exposure standpoint, you couldn't ask, for anything else as well. And certainly me as the head coach and our coaching staff, we got to do an amazing job in the month of August of getting our guys ready to play, and knowing that we've been a team the last 2 seasons that have, from game 1 to game 12, we have gotten better as the year has gone on, and we've played our best football down the stretch the last 2 years. And regardless of what happens against North Carolina, we know that we've got to be that same team. And the whole thing for us is going to be, let's be better the next week against Furman than what we were against North Carolina, and on and on and on.
You hear that. Preston, obviously you played, coach. You've got to set up your schedule and your roster. We were kind of talking about that in terms of, I know people are learning, and I'm not trying to put anybody down, but people are learning how difficult the Sun Belt Conference is in soccer. Marshall is incredible. Kentucky is really good. Central Florida, I think, is coming in as a team that you've talked about. What is it?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. I've got your, is it
ODU.
FIU or FAU?
It's UCF.
Okay. I was thinking you had one other Florida school. But anyway, I say all that. James Madison's really good. How do you set up your non-conference to give your team confidence in themselves, to see what you want to see, but also to prepare yourself for conference play? And how do you correlate that to what you hear kind of Shane saying about getting his team ready for this game? But there's more after that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's probably one of the toughest things is to get your schedule right, because you want to be competitive. You want to recruit players, the high-level players. They want to play a tough schedule, right? They don't want to play an easy schedule where you're blowing teams away. And to be honest, like even Gardner-Webb, they've got a new coach. They've retooled. They've brought in 18 new players. I don't expect that to be a good, easy game either. In fact, I don't think there are many easy games left in college soccer. But what you try to do is, obviously, you play Tuesday, Friday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Friday, whatever it comes up as. We try and schedule that Tuesday midweek game as not the highest level opponent, but still a challenging game, because we need to rotate our players as well, because you cannot go through the season and play 16 full matches, 2 games a week with very limited rest. That's the way the schedule is set up. So you need rotation. You need to rest some players to get ready for the conference, because the conference comes thick and fast at the end. And we drop to about early in the conference play, we play 2 games, but then towards the end, it's 1 game a week. And that's by design too. We don't play any games in between, because we need to obviously try and win the conference games. So it's tricky. It's not easy. You've got to try and get the 16, 17 games regular season, and you've got to try and get some games where you can rotate some players through and maybe get your subs on. And the subbing pattern is something else in college soccer that's different from the rest of the world as well. So it's all tricky, but you've got to really try and get your schedule to where, I mean, look, you could go out and say, right, let's schedule the easiest games we can out of conference. That would be, let's get 6 wins out of conference, right?
Well, in football, Kentucky does that. I mean, I'm not making fun of Kentucky, but Kentucky in football schedules 3. They play Louisville as well. That's their rivalry game, so they got to play that one. But if you look at Kentucky's history, what they've done, especially under Mark Stoops, is, hey, we're going to play 3. We're going to play Youngstown State, Eastern Illinois, and maybe Morehead State, and then we're going to play Louisville. But then that's 3 wins, and if we can pick up Vanderbilt, and obviously, unfortunately, they've been beating South Carolina most years recently, and they go, hey, we get 1 more, and then we can build on that, and they've gone to a bowl game, and that's kind of been acceptable. Hey, well, it's kind of good for you, and I'll go back to this, and this is the other part of scheduling that's interesting, and Preston, I kind of want your opinion on this too. Football schedule's so far out. Like, we know that there's series against NC State, North Carolina, Miami, and Virginia Tech over the next, I think, 13 years. You do your schedule. Like you don't,
I'm doing my 24 now.
Right. So you can kind of look at your roster and gauge. It's fluid, transfer portal and everything that's going on now. But
Yeah.
you can kind of say, okay, Shane Beamer has almost no say in his schedule, which I always think is interesting. This 2023 game, Preston, Coach, I think was scheduled 10 years ago because this is the end of a 3-game series. 2015.
I find that amazing.
I do too. That's why I'm at Preston. I mean,
Yeah, I'm very familiar with the world of high school scheduling, and you just brought up a good point about roster construction. I know coaches in high school sometimes it's, let's say if you have a very young team that you think is going to be good, but they're very young, you may want to schedule a little lighter early so you can get some wins underneath your belt, build up some confidence. Now, some coaches might say that's false confidence and what happens when you actually play the teams or whatever. But then maybe if you have a veteran team, maybe let's go test ourselves out early. Regardless of what our record is, we know we're going to be pretty good in the year, but we can get some tests early on the season. So I know coaches that have taken both approaches. Some coaches like to get those easy wins in your pocket and build on them. Some coaches like to test you early and then actually know what you're working with throughout the rest of the season. I've seen it work both ways, and it's really a matter of preference.
I'll get more into that with Coach as well, and we need to get his opinion on Sean Payton. One thing about scheduling real quick before you hit the break, I don't know if you saw this. Dustin Curtis, who we had in studio not too long ago, he put out Lexington's schedule. I think he had it out. You talk about missing games, the old rivalries. Lexington does not play Irmo this year.
Yeah,
that's not, and I don't blame Dustin for that, and I don't blame Coach Brand for that over at Irmo. I don't know how that went down. That's a game that, as a Lexington alum, should always happen. That was my rivalry growing up. Irmo was. And I saw Dustin answer some questions, I think, on Twitter about it. Some people, and he was saying him and Coach Brand will get together and they'll make that game work.
Yeah, they're going to figure that out because if we know one thing, that gate, they're going to want that.
There's a lot of people my age from Lexington, maybe from Irmo as well. That game should happen. I'll just say that. 803-404-6100 will come back. We'll let Preston explain to Coach Sean Payton. Did you see Sean Payton?
I just saw it last night, yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll get into that a little bit. It's the early game. 107.5 The Game.
Coming soon, the biggest Gamecock ticket giveaway ever from your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and help you save time and money down the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Life matters. I was only 9 years old, and I underestimated how long it would take me to get back to grandmother's house. I'd gone exploring that afternoon deep into the woods, and Mom told me to be home before dark. It became evident soon enough that I wouldn't make it. I wasn't worried about getting in trouble for being late. I was worried about ghosts and vampires that surely lurked in those woods after dark. I cried a little, prayed a little, and I remember thinking if I could just get to my daddy, everything would be okay. He was strong and brave, and the thought of him gave me courage to plow ahead. Soon I saw my daddy on the old dirt road looking for me with a flashlight, and I ran to him with all the speed my little legs could muster. God loves us like that too. If we can just get to him, everything will be okay. This is Pastor Stephen Chitty from Christian Life. Remember, friends, life matters, and so do you. Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
If you have tax problems, it can affect all aspects of your life. Now's the time to do something about it. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. Everyone at our firm truly believes we can improve the lives of our clients by eliminating the stress and worry of IRS tax problems. We're a local South Carolina law firm dedicated to resolving your tax problems for good. Simply put, we solve tax problems. So if you're facing IRS tax liens, bank or wage levies, or have years of unfiled tax returns, come meet with us in person. Your first visit is free and confidential. We'll show you how we will solve your problem and how much it'll cost. So don't put it off any longer. Call us now at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to our website at irsproblemsolving.com. It is time to do something about that tax problem. Your solution is right here in South Carolina. So hire a South Carolina attorney. Hire me, John Ecton.
Hey, South Carolina. Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers with some sizzling summer savings to put a little bling in your step. How about a 2-carat total weight diamond stud earring for just $1,799? Or a gorgeous 2-carat solitaire, just $2,999? And if you want to go big, how about a 3-carat solitaire for just $4,999? We have more diamonds and more diamond jewelry at each of our locations than you typically see at 3 jewelry stores. And we have more lab-grown diamonds than you'll typically see in 5 jewelry stores. So why waste your valuable time driving around town when you can visit one of our stores, see our incredible selection, and get a better diamond at a better price? Plus, we can help you design the ring of your dreams and custom make it for you. So come see us at Traditions, because whether you want a $99 gift or a 10-carat diamond, we've got you covered. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers on Sunset Boulevard in Lexington and at the Fountain at Sandhills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Can you imagine a world without junk?
A world where there's room to breathe and stretch out and play.
A world with enough room to laugh and live and love.
You have the power to make that world happen.
And that power is in your forefinger.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Invite us to your house.
We'll only be there a few minutes.
Any home or apartment.
Workplace or job site.
We're industrial strength magicians.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock Football.
36 days till kickoff.
Your trusted family-owned dealership since 1961. Get the vehicle you want, not the one you have to settle for. Love Chevy, South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Finding new roads.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, a happy Friday to you. And on this morning, it's time for a First Alert traffic update. It has been a calm one around the region as we're rolling on forward here. Nothing with major confirmed collisions or big backups causing problems are heavily traveled roadways and interstates. If anything major changes, we'll be sure to let you know later this morning. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm meteorologist Tony Schiaparoli. Make it a great travel Friday.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
$7.50 on a Friday morning. Look at you. You getting all gear. See, come in. We get you good music. You weren't here on, was it Tuesday, Monday, when Jen played that Hard to Be Humble?
Yeah.
I was actually driving to it.
Where you heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I heard you talking about it.
You were our roving reporter going out to Mercedes-Benz.
By the time I got on radio, though, my signal had lost you.
Oh, okay. Well, some people would say you didn't miss much. Just say that. Some people would say that. Real quick, I want to go back because it's football season and your seasons collide. I know why it would not work. I get why it would not work. But the dimensions of Williams-Brice Stadium, could you hold a soccer match in there, or is the field too wide? I'm thinking the end zones would be the problem.
No, we could hold. It's big enough to hold a soccer event there. We'd have to obviously max out the space, but it'd be tight,
right?
As most of the time it is, but we could do it.
I would assume maybe in the spring that obviously spring would be when you do it, and of course they've got spring football going on as well. But I don't know if there's something that you could do that have one match there during the spring. Has that ever been discussed or talked about?
I don't know. It's never been discussed since I've been here.
Yeah,
we love the Graveyard. It's a cool little stadium. It's a great little atmosphere, and it's got its own unique feel. So I think we'd lose atmosphere if we did it at Willie B, unless we sold 50,000 tickets, which we'd have to play somebody pretty special. We'd have to be Messi here.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would, you might sell a few more than 50,000.
I'm not that connected, sorry.
Preston was very excited. I sent text messages. Sean Payton, Preston, I'll let you kind of explain it, but he went in on former coaches. He is basically, I don't know if he called Russell Wilson out, but there's an element there of calling your star player out.
What he was actually trying to do, as I listened to it a little bit more, he was trying to protect his star player. And what he was trying to do with Russell Wilson, he was saying, because he's still coaching Russell Wilson, and so he was trying to say, these guys were so terrible, I'm here to save Russell Wilson because I think there's still something left in the tank. So if you didn't see it, Coach, basically Sean Payton came in and he basically he had some choice words about the previous regime and the current regime because the GM is still there, but he had some previous words about the previous regime. This is very much against the coaching ethics of what you normally do when you take over a program. You've been around a lot of programs. Obviously, you've taken over this program. You've been involved in other programs. When you're a coach, are there any words that you hear from other coaches when you know what they're saying, but what they actually mean?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I just wonder how that goes.
Yeah, you can dress it up any way you want to, but there are certain phrases and there are certain words and postures that you know exactly where they're going with it, and you know exactly what they're trying to say, and it's whether you want to or not. You don't want someone to give it to you like that.
Absolutely.
I think I get where he's coming from, the frustration, he has no frustration, to be honest, because he wasn't there, but I do get the temptation to do that, I guess, but if you wanted to do that, but it's, I guess, coach's code. You would just probably say, you know what, I'm just going to leave that one lying there and not get into it, but he felt he's big enough and he's tough enough to do it, so.
And I think that's the aspect about Sean Payton being the big dog and feeling like, what can anybody else do to me? What's somebody going to say to me? I am the coach's coach.
But how much is it for Sean Payton that Nathaniel Hackett was, in all seriousness, a one-year coach who won 5 games? I mean, this isn't like Norv Turner didn't. I don't remember Norv Turner winning a lot of games, but for some reason he constantly got NFL jobs.
Yes,
just he was the guy. Like, we got to have a coach. Turner's over here in the scrap bin. Bring him on. Like, this isn't at least Norv Turner. This is a guy that it's very easy to run down. Right.
Well,
for Sean Payton, Sean Payton wouldn't have done this to a more established coach, basically.
Sean Payton's not going to need anything from Nathaniel Hackett for the rest of his
let me
career.
ask you this. Was it true what he said?
Yes.
Well, when you're 5-12, you can't. Yeah, you can't. I mean,
it was true. And he even brought up some actual football points. He didn't just say, "Oh, they were terrible." One of the things he mentioned, he said, "Well, Russell Wilson can't even get into play." And then he mentioned how the Denver Broncos offense led the league in pre-snap offensive penalties because they would have delay of games, they would have motions. And so it wasn't just like he was just saying things, he was actually bringing the facts. And it was and everybody knows what he was talking about.
I've said a few things in my career where it's been factual and true and people have hit the roof about it. People don't like the truth. I mean, they don't want to hear it. And I get it. If it is true, that's his choice to go in the press and do that, but I would probably venture not to do that.
In Europe, in the Premier League or one of the big leagues over there, how are superstars handled inside the locker room? And I give you, because Russell Wilson apparently had his own quarterbacks coach and had his own team of people.
He had his own office inside the facility.
So I'll tell you a story about Del Piero, who was one of probably the greatest Italian players to live. He was at Juventus.
Okay.
And Conte took over Juventus, and I actually went and visited the club because I had a friend coaching the 21s there, and I visited the club for 3 weeks back in 2010, I think it was. Anyway, Conte came in and said to Del Piero, okay, you have your own room with your own key, and what goes on in that room, and he was an aging player, right? So he's trying to stay ahead of the curve. He had 2 trainers come in every day, and he would disappear in this room. And apparently there was F1 equipment for reactions and stuff like that in there. This is the rumor. But he had his own key to the room and everything else. And he would come out to train with the team when he felt like it. Conte came in and said, listen, you can have your room, you can have your key, but you will be at training every day at 9 a.m. on the field, ready to go, and you can do that with your people. And then after one season, he was gone. And he was finished in football. He went to Australia after that. So I think it depends on the coach. It depends on the, you've got to manage the personality of the star, because I know Russell Wilson has a pretty big ego. You have to manage that ego and you have to manage the personality, but you've also got to, if your culture is, there's the All Blacks culture. I go to that a lot because I read a lot on them, and they have a saying that says, no something's allowed, right? No such and such allowed. And that's for staff, players, administrators, everybody is on the same level. If you are a problem, you are out.
Right. Kind of like I hate to say it, but the Patriots culture.
Yeah, I mean, Belichick was the same.
We got to hit the top of the hour. We'll get into more of that with you. Interesting take. I actually kind of want to go back because y'all shared the same facility. I would imagine that quarterback Matty Ryan. I would imagine you kind of at least got a little bit of a glimpse in how he was handled, because he seems like a true, legitimate.
He was a top guy.
Yeah,
character was amazing. So that was different.
I'd just be interested to see how you saw him interact just in your few. We'll get into that with Coach. We'll get back into some other stuff here as well. We're glad he got out of bed to come join us. He says he was in the pool. Says he was swimming, working out this morning. Yeah, we'll get into that. I actually want to get into a little behind the scenes scheduling too with you. How coaches, Lamont Paris trying to wrap up his schedule, and just how coaches handle scheduling behind the scenes. I'll get into that with you a little bit as well. You're listening to Coach Tony Annan, Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Tyler Head in as well. It's the early game, 107.5 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is South Carolina DQ Smith. You listen to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Save big during Hand & Stone's Christmas and July gift card sale. Gift cards for a 1-hour massage or facial start at only $69.95. Discover relaxation at their Columbia locations or visit online handandstone.com. Don't miss out on this limited time offer to indulge yourself or someone special.
This week only, you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean plus a free hallway from Zerorez for only $109. This offer ends this week, so schedule your appointment now before it's too late. Schedule online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
The Craft Beer Passport. It's not just any beer, it's a craft beer. Make that 2 choice craft beers at 17 fine breweries. It's a value of $285, and you pay just $79. That's 38 beers for $79. It's not just any deal, it's a sweet deal. The Craft Beer Passport. You'll find it at 1075thegame.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-954-3322. That's 800-954-3322. 800-954-3322.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group. Staples has big savings on everything you need for back to school or stocking up the office. Save on signs, banners, and posters expertly printed by Staples Print and Marketing Services. Save on the latest tech and tech total support plans to keep your new or existing PC running right. Plus, save on all your back to school essentials from notebooks to markers. And right now at Staples, you can save even more with $10 off your in-store purchase of $50 or more. Get everything for the office and the classroom for less at Staples. N729. In-store only.
Playing hard left you with sore muscles? Consider cryotherapy. Embraced by athletes at the highest levels, cryotherapy is known for reducing inflammation while stimulating rapid recovery. It strengthens your immune system, increases metabolism, boosting your energy, not to mention cognitive clarity, for days.
Feel better than you thought possible in just 3 to 4 minutes with cryotherapy. Schedule an appointment at Icebox Cryotherapy at 4609 Forest Drive.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostetler-Brown. If you or a loved one are over 65 and haven't completed a long-term care planning consultation, now is the time. Did you know that if you aren't able to afford the high cost of skilled care, your assets can be rapidly depleted to only $2,000 unless you plan 5 years in advance? Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South
More than
Carolina.
80 million Americans depend on AM radio for their news, weather, sports, and a community connection. It's the backbone of the emergency alert system. It's critical that we keep AM radio in cars because when cell and internet services are down, this free emergency service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
What you're talking about
on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. There are lots of places to buy your next ride, but there is no place like Love Chevy, where you never pay more than MSRP, ever. Come by and feel the difference of love. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
with Bill Gunter.
I don't know if we'll get on this path today because this show we tend to just teeter wildly out of control.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
Unfortunately, I might know a little bit about the Kardashians.
Oh.
And just like that, we're away from sports talk.
And Jen Jensen.
37 text messages right now. One person, sports talk show, talk sports. Sir, ma'am, or whoever. Yeah,
We'll be back.
You don't get the program. You don't get the program. You don't understand what we're doing here.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
107.5 The Game.
Just hanging out on a Friday morning. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Tyler Head, and our co-host, Tony Yannon, who was kind enough to get out of bed and come join us this morning. I wonder what what do you think the poll is? You think anybody has voted that he was awake before he realized
my wife's not on Twitter, so she would have voted no. For she's not on Twitter.
That's just
put her on Instagram. She'll answer.
Yeah, a little close to about 30 votes. Some right now, 100%. 100% weighing in that did Tony Yannon just wake up and remember that we wanted him to come?
I can't believe there's that many people agree with you. By the way. No
prompting his text asking is we still wanted him today. We also agreed, Preston and I agreed, the text that's someone's way of going, I'll come if you really need me.
No, it's not at all. Not at all. You know, I'm happy to come in here, but you're going to lose me August through December.
Yeah.
I'm not going to,
you're going to be gone here shortly.
You're not going to have this entertainment in the mornings from me because I'm not going to be here.
We do lose a good hour.
I've got to get my head down and get this thing going.
When do you? You're always.
By the way, if you want to smell my arm, it smells like chlorine. Just if you want to come over and smell my arm.
Alabama.
That right there goes on the Jen's already left, but like you might want to mark that one down. 804 for that one will come back on a promo or somewhere. But okay, there you go. Yeah, all right. 803-404-6100 is how you going. When do you? I know you're always on the go, so I'm not saying that you've just been vacation all the time, but like when for you? When no, I still got more vacation days I'm about to use, and then people will text in and be like, hey, the kid's always gone. When do you really get going? When obviously, what is it? August 8th, next Tuesday.
That's first day of practice. August 7th is a full day of meetings.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, from the 6th onwards, we are just head down. Here we go. But like right now, we're not going anywhere for the next, few days. This is it. I'm all in.
Really quick, I'm familiar with the way a football preseason camp is set up. What is that? What is practice? What does a day look like for you all?
It's I don't love double days. Like I don't think you need to do doubles, but because of our the shortness of preseason and the limited time we have to prepare what we want to get across to the team as an individual, as a team, philosophy, everything, the methodology of what we're going to do, it's such a short window, we have to do doubles. So basically, we'll train in the morning and do a pretty tough session in the morning, and then we'll come back in the evening and do tactics, where it's light on the legs. It's kind of like when the ball's here, you're here. It's kind of individually geared. And then as the week goes on, we'll try and do tactics in the evening, but not every evening. And then obviously we train every day in the morning. So
Which by the way is the preferable way. I remember being a player and we were doing the tactics in the morning, and then you still have that heavy training session looming on you for the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's like you can't even pay attention in the morning. It's like, man, we still got to come back out here. and get them
We'll only
full
do
pads.
probably out of 10 days, we'll probably do 6 to 7 doubles.
Yeah.
When I say doubles, it's not physical. It's one's physical, one's tactical.
Yeah, meetings in between also.
So we'll start the day with video. We do no more than 20 minutes video before every session. So we'll go video, training field, gym. If there's a gym session, we don't smash the gym preseason either because it's so heavy on them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do a little bit of recovery, and then we'll come out in the evening and do a tactical session. And then the next day will be pretty much the same. So for 10 days, it's just intense sort of information, individual, team, tactics, fitness with the ball. They shouldn't have to do much without the ball now at this point.
Preston, you can go back to your days, like what we hear. I heard Will Muschamp talk about it a lot in terms of guys never leaving the facility during training camp. And so, to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to be funny, one of the things that surprised me, as smart as Muschamp was, and I think he did an incredible job. Say what you want about Will Muschamp, I think he did an incredible job of building that operations building down there to suit his players with what they need. I was actually surprised because I've seen this at other facilities across the country. They put in sleeping rooms, basically, where guys can just go grab a nap because you're there so much. You might be familiar with that. Do you remember your days doing, you just talked about it, but going to the facility at, I don't know, 8 a.m., 7 a.m., and not leaving?
7.
I don't know. I'm asking you.
6. You get a knock on your door.
Here's what I remember. Jonathan Austin coming back home. I roomed with a friend of ours who was an offensive lineman, big guy. And I would come in from 5 Points, roughly 3, 4 in the morning. Jonathan Austin would probably be heading off to his summer workouts. He would be back, and he would come into my, of course, you see my size. John is 6'6", 300. And he would feel that I needed to be awake. So he would wake me up and fix breakfast. And he would fix something that was awful. Like, I don't know where Jonathan got the idea that he could cook, but it was awful. But he would wake up. So I don't know how this training went. I know that I had a roommate who played football, was a starting offensive lineman, and could pound me into the ground. So I had to get up after being in.
Man, it was and we'll talk about this when we get closer to when camp starts, but it's essentially what Coach laid out, man. It's a all-day sessions, all day, whether it's meeting, film, weights, practice. But, yeah, you're there all day.
How do you go about maybe keeping it different and not making it monotonous for your team where there's enjoyment? Again, maybe a movie afternoon or, for the camp. For the camp, you have water day, which, Austin was like, yeah, I'd rather do the drills than do the slides.
Yeah, they outgrow that eventually. But we have some activities planned, like to break up preseason, right? Like we went to the fort last year and did some team building stuff. Frankie's, we do mini golf and go-karting. And then obviously I have all the team over to my house for a barbecue and cookout, and they seem to have a good time there. We got all the families together. So we try and break it up, but like they're off between probably noon and 6 p.m.
Oh, okay.
We let them go. And they probably go home and sleep, I'd imagine. I mean, that's what I used to do in preseason and get an ice bath or whatever, trying to get my legs back. But it's not, I try not to make it too much because, again, the season takes such a toll physically, mentally, and it's so fast and it's so hard, the season, that preseason should be hard and should be tough, but you don't have to kill people. You don't have to saturate them with too much.
And that was not, I mean, that was, look, there was, if you remember back in those days, I don't know how much you paid attention, but the games against Georgia were all out bloody wars. And I remember I've talked to guys like Jonathan and others that would say, well, our preseason we were built for, but also there's a lot of former players, maybe you can agree with this, that was the reason for some of those losing streaks at the end of the season, that y'all were done by October. Your team was done.
They play one game a week. If I played one game a week, my preseason would be a lot tougher than it is.
Well, all right, we'll get into this when we come back because I go back. It's interesting, South Carolina fans, what they've seen over the years, going from Lou Holtz, who, again, Lou Holtz's preseason was, I'll let Preston describe it, to Steve Spurrier's, who I've talked to players who said it was a country club atmosphere. And Spurrier's goal was don't injure anybody. And much like we've seen with Shane Beamer, Spurrier's teams performed at the end of the season. They were great in November. Shane Beamer's teams through 2 years, have played better as the season moves on. They've been great in November.
When you need to be good.
Right. We'll talk a little bit about that with Coach Tony Yannon, Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Tyler Head in here as well. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got a take?
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Great summer deals sometimes can be hard to come by, unless, of course, you're Zero Res. Because right now, you trying to keep your home clean, it can be a little difficult. But Zero Res is offering you a fantastic deal right now. Contact Zero Res, 803-262-4020. And this week only, you can get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned plus a free hallway from the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning for only $109. That's a deal that simply can't be beat. So again, call today, 803-262-4020, or schedule with ease online, ZeroResColumbia.com. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned plus a free hallway, and it's only $109. But this deal is only available this week, so schedule your appointment today before it's too late. Again, 3 rooms of carpet cleaned plus a free hallway from the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning, just $109. 803-262-4020, or schedule online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res is the right way to clean.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Jaylen Brown has always instructed NBA rookies to plan a post-career path while they can still leverage their platforms as players. Sound advice. Because, he says, when you're done, you're done. Then most people tend not to care and be less interested in you. With his newly inked $304 million contract, Brown shouldn't have such post-career financial worries. And he's going to get another contract after this. I'm Boomer Esiason. CBS Sports Radio.
Summer's in full swing, and you know what that means. Temperatures are hot, grills are hot, and the deals are hotter than fire at Omaha Steaks. That's right, America's original butcher is heating up the summer with blazing hot deals on mouth-watering grilling favorites, guaranteed to tantalize your taste buds. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter Garden in the search bar, and for a limited time, you can score 32 delicious grilling essentials, including 12 free burgers from Omaha Steaks for just $99.99. You'll get 4 of their world-famous fork tender filet mignons, 4 air-chilled boneless chicken breasts, 4 boneless pork chops, 4 gourmet jumbo franks, and so much more for 62% off the regular price. The Hotter Than Fire Pack is your chance to score unreal savings on unrivaled quality from America's original butcher. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter Garden in the search bar today. This exclusive offer is only available for a limited time, and you're not going to want to miss it.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and help you save time and money down the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Save big during Hand & Stone's Christmas and July gift card sale. Gift cards for a 1-hour massage or facial start at only $69.95. Discover relaxation at their Columbia locations or visit online handandstone.com. Don't miss out on this limited time offer to indulge yourself or someone special.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for the Hood Team at Coldwell Banker. You know, the Hood Team is constantly learning and seeking ways to tailor their business and marketing strategies to meet the needs of their clients. And they are proud to announce that they have just been accepted into the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing. This now makes the Hood Team Coldwell Banker Global Luxury Certified. That means they've shown extreme expertise in the marketing of luxury properties and that they have marketing tools available through Coldwell Banker Global Luxury that other companies simply can't touch. Anyone with a home priced in the upper echelon of our market needs to contact the Hood Team to see how they can put their expertise and their impressive suite of global luxury marketing tools to work for you. 803-730-2512. Online, thehoodteam.com. Downtown, Lake Murray Country, Northeast, no matter where you're buying or selling. Count on the 38-plus years of experience that the Hood Team at Coldwell Banker can provide you.
Making a difference in the lives of children and families brings a feeling of satisfaction that is unmatched. You may be just the person to help them to a brighter tomorrow. Answer the call and learn more about becoming a child welfare case manager at dss.sc.gov. There, you will find qualifications needed and information about salary and benefits available. This message is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Social Services.
107.5 The Game traffic. Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, a happy Friday to you. And on this morning, it's time for a First Alert traffic update. It has been a calm one around the region as we're rolling on forward here. Nothing with major confirmed collisions or big backups causing problems are heavily traveled roadways and interstates. If anything major changes, we'll be sure to let you know later this morning. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm meteorologist Tony Schiaparoli. Make it a great travel Friday.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Oh, Tyler, we may have to get you in here. I think we're about to dredge up bad memories for Preston Thorne. Shane Beamer set to get going next week. Next Friday will be their first practice. They'll have their acclimation period where they just go helmets for 2 days, and then you go the shoulder pads for 2 days. And after 4 total, you throw on the full pads. And Preston was asking Coach Annan about his preseason. Now, the difference is, which still amazes me. I know I've said it every time we talk about it for a year and a half with you, how little time you get with your ball club. I guess if you get 2 exhibition games.
That's within preseason, though.
Right. But
that's 2 days of preseason after you use for exhibition.
Well,
3 if I take 3 games.
But it's kind of like with Shane. I think I saw the schedule yesterday. I believe Shane's first scrimmage is going to be the 12th. So now he will scrimmage. Obviously, his team will scrimmage itself. But Preston was talking with Coach Annan about how Coach handles his preseason, the level of physical, I guess, what kind of physical nature you put your team through. I hate to say it, Preston, but I've heard the stories. I mean, I was in college. I just mentioned Jonathan Austin. I knew a lot of the players. The stories that I heard about Lou Holtz's preseasons were that, man, you showed up on day one, and if you weren't ready to go, there was no easing into it.
No, it was brutal. I've seen a lot of football since then. It was pretty brutal. It was one of those things that if you made it, his concept was if you can make it through this, you can make it through anything. And it was successful for it to an extent. But as you said, what happens is because we beat ourselves up so much early in the year, by the end of the year, you would see we start playing against that Orange Crush, Tennessee, Florida, Clemson. And we just be gassed. You just would not have anything left in your legs. You'd be sort of beat up. And we would beat each other up throughout the year too. It would be all year. I mean, I can tell plenty of stories of coming into the locker room. We would all walk in the locker room and you look on the board to figure out what we got going on today. And it would be like a Thursday and we'd be full pads hitting on a Thursday previous to a game, which we're playing on Saturday. So there was a lot of that, but that was early on. We took pride in that. That was our identity. We're tough guys.
First 2 years.
Yeah, we're tough guys. But after a while, it's like, man, I don't know if we need to do this anymore. The first year when Steve Spurrier took over, my guy Chris Tucker called me during camp. He said, PT, you are not going to believe this. We practiced for 2 hours, and Coach called it practice.
Yeah.
So there were guys that were on the team that had previously played for Lou Holtz. When practice went for 24 periods, we was going another 8 or 9 periods. Steve Spurrier stopped practice in the middle of a drill at 2 hours. It was like, oh, we're done.
Yeah.
And there were guys looking around like, what is going on? Are you serious? So obviously different approaches.
What have you learned in your career from everybody you've been around about training for the season? And I guess it's a lot different because of how little time you get.
Let me. How have you changed since when you played to what it is now?
A lot. Like I could tell you pre-seasons we did in the UK and in the States, but the UK when we were 17, 18, we were young pros. We used to not see a ball for 2 weeks. It was just run. And look, soccer's a running game. You have to have stamina and you have to be able to go, 8 to 10K a game as a midfielder. And the way the game has evolved and the speed and the power and the pace of the game now, you have to take into consideration fatigue and you have to take accumulation of fatigue. And it does accumulate in the college season even more than it does in a pro season.
How much is that you keeping your finger on the pulse of your team and seeing, if you go 5, 6, 7 straight days hard and coming in and going one day and you just look around the locker room and you can just see it. You just see it. How do you handle that with keeping an eye on your team? Or is that more of an assistant coach's job to get to you and say, hey, man, they're wearing down?
We're all involved. And they wear GPS units and they wear heart rate monitors so we know where they're at. I mean, the heart rate can fluctuate if they slept badly or had 10 cups of coffee and this and the other. But GPS will tell you that this player is on the cusp of doing some soft tissue because they've done 8K per day for the last 3 days. And it's just, physically, they're not capable of doing it again. So that's why you've got to periodize your training. It's tough in college compared to professional, where sometimes you have one game a week for a few weeks and you can really periodize. But then to your point, how do you get that identity without doing the training? And I'm a big believer as how you train is how you play. If your training's lax and it's low tempo and it's easy going and it's la la la, you're going to play that way. You can't expect an athlete to train at a low level, low tempo, easy going, I wouldn't say boring, but repetitive exercises that train the same way, and then ask them to go full on a Tuesday night without training it. It's hard to get that identity.
Do coaches have a drill that's just your favorite that gives you more of a sense of where your team? Do you have a particular drill? You're like, all right, this is going to help me understand where my guys are at. Because I feel like in football,
I'm not sure if it's
Holtz would have said the Oklahoma drill or the bull in the ring, one of the two. So
we did all of that foolishness, but that was the point. Earlier in that tenure, we took pride in that because we knew when we stepped on the field on a Saturday, there weren't any teams that were tougher than us. They might have been better than us. They might have been faster, whatever. But we knew we were going to at least be out tough somebody.
But that toughness was trained.
Yes.
And some of it was intrinsic, of course, because that's how you recruit. But
you're trained into.
You train the mentality, you train the physicality, you train that attitude in exercises or drills, as you call them. 100%. So, yes, I have drills or exercises that, if I do it, I know who I'm going to see. This is a really smart, intelligent drill, and if you can do it, I know you're clever. You can play in small spaces. You make right decisions because. I mean, although soccer is played with the lungs and the feet, it's also played with the brain a lot. So there are exercises I love to see, he can't handle this because he doesn't think quick enough, right? So you've got exercises that are your favorites for fitness, for decision-making, transition, right? We've got some really, but I try to mix things up based on what you're trying to get out of the session.
803-404-6100. To go back, one thing that I'm interested in, because this is a challenge. This is a difference for Shane Beamer this year. The last 2 years, you've opened with Eastern Illinois and with Georgia State. And I'll go back to what we were talking about, Holtz. Holtz, the season openers, early in the season, you guys were ready. You talk about those wars with Georgia. Steve Spurrier, I remember talking to Chris Doering about this one time, and it goes back to what you said. Doering said that one time they kind of questioned Spurrier, and Spurrier said, well, basically we have 2 games to get ready for Tennessee. If you ever go back and look at Spurrier's tenure at Florida, they would always play a directional Louisiana, directional Michigan, or he basically had 2 scrimmages that he would open up with. And then if you go back and look, they beat teams 56-7 or 63-0 or whatever. And then they would go play Tennessee, and his team had 8 quarters of scrimmages. Shane Beamer, his first year, it was Eastern Illinois, and I know it was a tough game on the road, but East Carolina, and then unfortunately it was Georgia. This is his first year opening up with a massive opponent. Coach, do you think people train differently? Do you train differently knowing that maybe that first game is a more difficult game as opposed to one that you take everybody seriously, but you look at it and you go, okay, as long as we play our, say, B game, maybe we're not ready, we'll use that. Do you train differently?
From what I know about Shane, what I think I know about Shane, he's pretty consistent. I think he'll do the same things for every opponent as far as like keeping his training and his culture consistent. I think that's my guess. I don't know. I can't speak for Shane, but with me, I don't treat any game differently than I do any other. Like you don't try and hype it up too much, and you don't try and put it down too much either. You kind of try and stay consistent with your message.
Well, I understand what you're saying. The story I've always heard, and it's been validated by several. And Preston, you've been around the program, so maybe you agree with this. Marcus Lattimore's freshman season, Ellis Johnson apparently went to Steve Spurrier. South Carolina was playing Southern Mississippi on a Thursday night, but then obviously you get the game times early. South Carolina was playing Georgia in week 2 at noon, and we know what it's like in September at noon around here. And apparently Ellis Johnson went to Steve Spurrier and said, look, we can't do these evening 6 o'clock practices when it's a little bit cooler, and we have to do some 11 a.m. practices. We got this game in week 2. We got to win it. We got this guy. And so I have heard from players and from other staff that basically Steve said, oh, okay, all right, we'll try it. We'll try it this way. We'll do it. And that the team felt tougher. And if you remember, obviously Marcus went out and had a monster at 180 yards, 190 yards. And South Carolina physically beat up on Georgia that day to start that win streak against the Bulldogs. But I've heard a lot of people say that he did change his preseason training to fit some of the games early on, because you had we know Columbia, you've got to kind of do the same thing. I know you play games in the evening. I was going back to look at your schedule.
All our games are evening games, yeah.
Okay, you don't have like a Sunday afternoon, like 3 o'clock game.
We have no, unless we're on a football day. We've done it in the past where we go like at 12.
Okay, yeah.
But we train pretty much 8:30 every morning. But on Tuesday nights, we train in the evening, and that's due to a bit of class stuff, but it's also because we have Tuesday night games. So I'm kind of trying to prepare the feeling of training on Tuesday night is also playing on Tuesday night. So there's little things you can do like that sort of set you up, like going to Campbell away.
Yeah.
Is trying to set us up for Clemson away. You know, so as a coach, you kind of look at the nuances you can fit in without being inconsistent with your training message.
One of the nuances that we have sort of had was the same thing, setting up practices so that people could track the ball at night through the lights.
Oh, okay.
That's another thing, because you're used to
exactly.
seeing the ball during the daytime. Obviously, I didn't have to worry about that. The
Well,
ball
no, you
looks
were on the punt team and they might have faked the punt. We've
I was
covered
not
that.
going to catch the ball. I was just looking at the center looks the same everywhere, light, dark, whatever. But for the skill guys, seeing punts, you have to see stuff at night. So I've heard coaches there trying to adjust their schedules at least to get you some practice, because you don't want the first time you feel the punt at night to be against North Carolina or whoever the case may be. So yeah, that happens.
803-404-6100. We'll roll along. Coach Tony Annan in with us, Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Tyler Head. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Coming soon, the biggest Gamecock ticket giveaway ever from your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Hey, South Carolina. Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers with some sizzling summer savings to put a little bling in your step. How about a 2-carat total weight diamond stud earring for just $1,799, or a gorgeous 2-carat solitaire, just $2,999. And if you want to go big, how about a 3-carat solitaire for just $4,999? We have more diamonds and more diamond jewelry at each of our locations than you typically see at 3 jewelry stores. And we have more lab-grown diamonds than you'll typically see in 5 jewelry stores. So why waste your valuable time driving around town when you can visit one of our stores, see our incredible selection, and get a better diamond at a better price? Plus, we can help you design the ring of your dreams and custom make it for you. So come see us at Traditions, because whether you want a $99 gift or a 10-carat diamond, we've got you covered. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers on Sunset Boulevard in Lexington and at the Fountain at Sandhills, where the Midlands get engaged.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours. at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Bill Gunner for AAA Heating and Air. Give them a phone call today, 803-677-1500. Let their comfort advisors help you choose the right system to suit your comfort needs and maximize your dollar. With new tax credits available because of the Inflation Reduction Act, you could save as much as $5,300, and you could do it with 0% financing for qualified buyers. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting card enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or play. Stop, opt out.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to fill up.
No way. Gas around here is too expensive.
Billy, don't drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying gas?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Earn cash back every time you buy gas. Text CARD to 200-300 for an exclusive link to download the free Upside app and get an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. Cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just text CARD to 200-300 to download the free Upside app and get an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus. Text the word CARD to 200-300. Text CARD to 200-300.
Experience an exciting day of learning for the whole family at Learn Freely Fest. Saturday, August 12th from 2 to 5 p.m. at Richland Library, Maine. Choose from more than a dozen fun and informative sessions. Make crafts, learn life skills, play games, and explore library resources. For more information about Learn Freely Fest, visit richlandlibrary.com. Don't miss out on this unforgettable day of fun and learning. Saturday, August 12th from 2 to 5 at Richland Library, Maine.
South Carolina Department of Corrections. South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey, everybody, a good Friday morning to you again. It's time for another First Alert traffic update, and this is another good one. It has been a very calm morning around the region. Honestly, weather-wise, from that standpoint, pretty calm as well. A few clouds mixing in, otherwise still some lingering sun. But as we continue on into the day, just continue to be courteous to your fellow motorists and watch out for some good upticks in traffic. I'm sure there's going to be a good amount of people out on the road later, hitting up the weekend, of course, for the last one upcoming for July. Thanks again for listening for your WIS First Alert traffic checks for your morning. Hope it's been a great travel day for you so far. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. 107.5 The Game.
One more segment here with Coach Tony Annan as we kind of wrap it up. He's got about, August 8th. Today is the 28th. So, yeah, you're right there at about 11 days before. Well, you said the 7th, I guess, is technically. You said that's like meeting day and
report day.
Report day. So about 10 days away for you there.
I know we've been having a lot of great serious talk here, Coach, but we can't let you out without some translation. I learned a new soccer word.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. What is a howler?
A howler is what Bill has every morning. No, I'm joking.
Got coffee?
No, I'm just rolling you up. A howler is when you have an awful game or an awful mistake. Like if a goalkeeper lets it go through his hands and it goes in the net, that's a howler. If a player scores in his own goal, he's had a howler.
Okay.
Like, I don't use it that much, but howler is it's a bad thing. All
right.
If you throw an interception,
yes,
or 2 interceptions, you've had a howler.
Bad howler.
Yeah, there you
Pick 6 and then going in.
Yeah.
Howler.
Okay.
That's how we
Right.
start referring to him this year.
It's a howler. It's a howler. Fumbles, it's a howler. Yeah. He's had a howler.
There we go. We'll
Okay.
try to incorporate that every once in a while. I see where we're going with that. I do want to let you know you can go and purchase season tickets. It is that time for Coach and his team.
You do integrated media, right?
But you can go to Gamecocks online. You can check out more great season ticket packages. Last year, you guys,
cheapest ticket in town.
There's that. Yep. But what I was gonna say, last year, you guys led the nation in attendance. I don't think
the men were number 1. I think the women were number 3.
I don't think people understand. Like I know we were talking off air. You're really excited because Preston and I have talked about it. It takes a few years to really get your hands around a team and put your stamp on it. And year 3 for you, it seems like you're really excited about this group and what you've been able to impart on them through 2 years.
Yeah, I think our culture is in a good place. I think the energy of the team is in a good place. The guys' camaraderie is in a good place. And we've got some talent. Like, we've recruited pretty well, and we've got some really talented players. So I think, yes. And everyone told me it'll take you 2 or 3 years to get it where you want it or before you see any progress. And I didn't believe that, obviously, because I want to do it quicker than that. But, I've done a lot of reflection as well in my own sort of process of what I've done here. And I think this season's going to be, exciting for us. And I think it's going to be a good step forward and we're going to make some progress.
So you can go to GamecocksOnline.com, check out. There's a link right there up at the teams kind of tab where you can click on tickets and you can go and purchase 2023 Gamecock soccer season tickets. Are you familiar? I know last we talked about it. Beer was sold at certain games last year.
We're having beer at every game this time.
So beer at every game. I'm not saying you have to have that to enjoy it, but certainly it's fun. And look, it does create a little bit more of an environment. You like that. You got the horns out there. As a coach, because I know some people annoyed. I don't know if you hear the crowd behind you, or are you so locked in?
I don't. Like, I'll ask my wife, was there many there tonight? Like, sometimes it's, I think it's still a bit quiet. We'd still love to be a bit more rowdy and a bit more, Gamecock-like. But that, obviously, when you're winning, it helps, right? But I'll turn to my wife and say, was there many there today? She goes, yeah, it was packed. Like, I don't even know. Because by the time we turn around to face the crowd, Forever Today, most people duck out before that song comes on. So I don't really know. I never turn around and never look at the crowd. So I don't know. But then obviously you see pictures and you go, oh, wow, there's quite a few there last night. So,
Preston, when did you stop noticing the Williams-Brice crowd? When did it just become background for you?
Oh, that's a good question. That's when you sort of in the middle of your career when you get like, oh, well, this is always going to be like this. You don't actually notice it until you go someplace where there's not a lot of fans, i.e. Vanderbilt, and you look around and say, oh, it's not like this everywhere all the time. So you'll notice it, but like anything else, you can sort of get used to it until you play a game where there's a pop or there's a loud. You can start to feel, oh, this is a little bit different in here. But I will say that Williams-Brice is one of the loudest stadiums in the SEC, and that's all biases aside.
It makes a difference too.
You do have a little bit of news we'll get to real quick. You hired an assistant coach in the last, I think, 2 weeks here. Nathan Smith coming to you, a relationship you've had from Atlanta United. Talk a little bit about this hire and how he will help with this year's team.
Nathan is a very smart individual. He's what we call a soccer junkie. He watches everything. He studies the game. He's as licensed as I am, which is incredible. To have somebody who's an assistant coach who's just as qualified as you are as a head coach. But he's a smart guy. He sees the game really well. He's not like Alec, my other assistant, or Will, and he isn't like me either. So he brings another dynamic, which I like. I don't like everyone to be the same, have the same opinion. That's not a healthy coaching staff, where everyone's a yes man or everyone sort of agrees with what you say all the time. So, yeah, I'm excited about him, and he's excited to be here. He's hungry. He's ready. He's not looking at another, well, I took this job to get the next job. He's not even mentioned that. During the interview process, when I interviewed a lot of guys, they were always asking about, well, if I come to South Carolina, I can now build my resume to get the next job. He's not mentioned that ever. So he's a good guy. I trust him, which in coaching, obviously, everyone knows here that trust is a massive thing. So, yeah, I'm really excited to have him on staff, and I think it'd be really good individually for the boys, but also help the team dynamic.
Is this the first time? Obviously, you had to hire a staff when you came here, but is this the first time you had to transition and hire a new assistant in your 3 years now?
When I first came, I had 3 strangers.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But you had to put together a staff.
Yeah.
how did you handle this? Like, kind of like what was important to you as you went out? You mentioned interviewing several people. How does a coach go about interviewing assistants? Are people contacting you? Are you reaching out to people? Take us behind the scenes of a coaching search for someone, like how you mentally go through it.
Well, we put the job out on the server to the country. So then you get quite a few people wanting to come to South Carolina. That's a big.
Did you get anybody that just basically had like a low-level club background who just sent a resume like, hey, I know how to coach 9-year-olds, cut man. I can do this.
Nathan was the only non-college guy
Okay.
who applied. And he kind of applied because of a conversation we had. Because I thought I knew what was coming with Tam. So I kind of prepped him and said, hey, look, this may come open. But most of the guys that I interviewed were either head coaches of D2 teams, colleges, universities, or assistants at D1. And it's tough, right? Because you've got to really listen when you interview people for that, because there's some red flags within an interview straight away.
Yeah, because you're listening sort of in between the lines. You're not listening to the words that they're saying. You're sort of listening to how they say it, some of the key things that maybe turn you on or turn you off.
You ask them specific questions to get the authenticity of what they're saying, and they don't. Sometimes they know what you're doing, sometimes they don't. So, and to be honest, a lot of guys kind of lost patience with me because I took so long to hire. And everyone was like, when are you going to hire? Why have you not hired yet? When are you going to hire? I was like, when I feel the right time. I mean, it's an important hire for me. Because 3 strangers was really tough. I've never done that in my career. So I had to get to know Alec. I had to get to know Will. I had to get to know Tam. And you don't do that in 3-4 months. You do that over a period of time. So I didn't want this hire to be another stranger, because we're at the point now where we're kind of hoping to turn a corner. And I didn't want to have to take another year to get to know somebody and how they work and what makes them happy, what makes them mad, what makes them quiet, So I went with somebody I know, and the relationship's good, and I've got a lot of trust in them. Obviously, I trust Will and Alec now because I've been with them for 2 years. But yeah, I think we're in a good spot.
We'll get you back maybe one more time next week.
Before August 7th.
Okay. Hence, one more time next week. And
I'll text you if I'm.
Thank you. Yes. Just feel free to text.
Just to make sure you want me, because there's a few times you've stood me up, Nobody knows that in your pool, does
I was
right? Come by. Oh, no, we don't need you this morning. Thanks. So hey, get that on the pool.
You never responded. I said I said if you were back and want to, this was Friday during your drive, 8:34. I said if you're back and want to come in Friday, let me know.
Don't text and
you
drive.
You did let me know at 6:27.
I was in Georgia by then. I can't text and drive when I'm in Georgia.
That's a good point. Hands free kid.
I'm a responsible driver.
Jax had a lot of fun though. That's what was important.
Jax had a blast. He loved it. It was good father-son time too.
Preston and I'll be that guy. Preston and I look forward to our invites next time. All right, Preston will go next time. Cool. I look forward to seeing you this afternoon, man.
Time for me to go.
That time for Coach Hannah. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the final segment of the week. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Have you missed any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the early game on demand.
Integrated Media.
107.5thegame.com.
Or by downloading our 107.5 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
Sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has great prices on back-to-school essentials, and right now you can save an additional $10 on your in-store purchase of $50 or more. At Staples, school savings are always in session. Ends July 29th. Exclusions apply. School on, save on at Staples.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring correctional officers, nurses, food services, facilities maintenance, mental health professionals, law enforcement officers, teachers, and more statewide. There are sign-on bonuses for officers, food services, nurses, and law enforcement officers. South Carolina Department of Corrections has great employee benefits, like 6 weeks of PTO, accrued yearly, and police officer retirement. Start a rewarding new career today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
Pete Aylwine Pool and Spa is the Midlands leader in-ground vinyl, fiberglass, and gunite swimming pool design and installation. Looking to relax in a new hot tub? Pete Aylwine Pool and Spa is a proud dealer of Sundance Hot Tubs, the standard for hydrotherapy and deep tissue massage. Pete Aylwine Pool and Spa, 5541 Sunset Boulevard, Lexington, and online at PeteAylwinePools.com. Like the two beverages, ale and wine. Pete Aylwine Pool and Spa.
This is Kevin Hunter from Simplified Office Systems. Our industry-leading products from HP, Epson, Toshiba, and Riso can provide you with highly reliable, economical, and versatile printing technology. Instead of going to a big box store or an out-of-state company, let us show you how investing locally can save you money and meet your support demands. We can even wrap your new device in a Gamecock or Tiger logo, put a smile on your face when you print. Contact SOS to see the difference our people, programs, and products can make for your business by visiting mysimplifiedoffice.com today.
Hey, this is Ray.
And Mary Ann with Absolute Glass.
And we're happy to have been voted Lexington's best glass store for 13 years in a row.
Many drivers are unaware that your cracked windshields can be replaced, usually at absolutely no cost to you.
If all the high-end car dealerships in town can trust us to do their glass needs, so can you.
We service the Midlands both at our shop in Lexington, but we are also happy to come to you at home or work.
Find us online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. And remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Keeping your kids safe is a full-time job, whether it's putting on outlet covers, installing child gates, or gluing down your priceless face. So Duracell made one part of childproofing simple. Our lithium coin batteries are the only ones coated in a non-toxic bitterant to help discourage swallowing. Your kid is safer, and you've got one less thing to worry about. Or glue down. Duracell, engineered for more. Available in 2032, 2025, and 2016 sizes.
Hey Gamecocks, the Aaron Jordan here to tell you about my favorite Gamecock store, Gamecock Traditions. If you want the very best in Gamecock merchandise, you can visit a Gamecock Traditions location or go online at GamecockTraditions.com. Gamecock Traditions is now offering player-signed merchandise under the Gamecock Great Collection. Make sure to check out my personal helmets and pictures while you are there and look for other Gamecocks as well. Gamecock Traditions, 5134 Sunset Boulevard, or at the Sandhurst location. I'm sure to be your favorite Gamecock store too.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everybody, a good Friday morning to you again. It's time for another First Alert traffic update, and this is another good one. It has been a very calm morning around the region. Honestly, weather-wise, from that standpoint, pretty calm as well. A few clouds mixing in, otherwise still some lingering sun. But as we continue on to the day, just continue to be courteous to your fellow motorists and watch out for some good upticks in traffic. I'm sure there's going to be a good amount of people out on the road later, hitting up the weekend, of course, for the last one upcoming for July. Thanks again for listening for your WIS First Alert traffic checks for your morning. Hope it's been a great travel day for you so far. I'm meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Game
with Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
A lot of the formations are still the same. I mean, not necessarily the same, but I mean, as far as kind of how we call them. Gosh, you know, it slows a little bit. I don't even know if that makes sense, but it just kind of makes more sense. You know,
it's streamlined.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, the best thing about him is he thinks about my players and thinks about our players saying, hey, what would hit their brains?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter to me. Like, what hits their brains? And him keeping a lot of the pass game terminology the same is really helpful.
That was Justin Stepp yesterday out at Birdies with Beamer, the media golf tournament. We'll have another media day next week as Shane and the team get ready. That'll be next Wednesday, another media day. Really interesting comments there, though, from Justin Stepp. Now, of course, this time of year, Preston, you don't expect an assistant coach to come in and be like, yeah, I don't know about this offense. It's not making a whole lot of sense right now. Oh, we'll see if we can put it together. You expect the positive stuff. But Justin Stepp right there, I think, and let's let Preston listen to that again real quick, Tyler, because Preston didn't catch some of the headphones there. It's interesting, and I want you to hear what Justin Stepp is saying, because I don't feel like it's a shot at Marcus Satterfield, but I feel like it's a shot at Marcus Satterfield. Listen to what Justin Stepp had to say again and hone into some of the key words he says there.
A lot of the formations are still the same. Not necessarily the same, but I mean, as far as kind of how we call them. Gosh, it slows a little bit. I don't even know if that makes sense, but it just kind of makes more sense.
It's streamlined.
Yes.
Yeah.
The best thing about him is he thinks about my players and thinks about our players and, hey, what would hit their brains?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter to me. Like, what hits their brains? And him keeping a lot of the pass game terminology the same is really helpful.
It's like he goes to say it's better and then stops himself before Colin jumps in and is like, streamlined.
Justin did the opposite of Sean Payton. He didn't do the Sean Payton. He did the opposite of Sean Payton. He was very measured and he's very consistent. I saw a stat yesterday from SEC StatCat, and if you don't follow him, you should, because he's really interesting on Twitter. In talking about South Carolina's passing plays, they only ran the same play 29% of the time in passing plays. What that means is they were running a whole bunch of different plays. They believe that in the Clemson game, they dropped back to pass. Say if they dropped back to pass 10 times, they only ran the same play twice out of those 10 times, the same pattern. So that just means the players had so many plays to remember, so many plays to think about, so many reads to remember. And this is what they did all season. So when you hear Justin saying those ideas of it being streamlined or it being a little bit easier for the players to remember, that's probably what he's talking about. He's probably players trying to remember all of these plays. Again, Bill, you consider yourself an NCAA savant, correct?
Yes.
Did you use the whole playbook? No. How many plays did you run?
Stuck with the single back, and we would either go 4 wides or 2 tights, and we went shotgun.
That's it.
That's all we use.
Even if you pick the playbook, it's like, I'm going to use this team's playbook. You still only run like 10 plays.
Yeah.
Nobody runs it's like, I have to run every single play. It's not how it works. But apparently that's how the previous OC felt.
It'll be interesting. Next week, we'll really get it going with fall camp, with training camps, whatever, preseason camp, whatever Preston wants to do. I want to get more into your memories, because those are, you lived it. I heard about it. And how you train, because one thing I think we both agree upon, I think we haven't had this conversation, South Carolina's come out of the box slow last year. I really have not thought they were physical in game 1 against Georgia State and against Eastern Illinois. You don't have that luxury this year. If South Carolina doesn't come out physical, I was watching ACC Media Days yesterday, and Drake May was talking, and Drake May's a quarterback now. He's on Sling It. And I'll go back to what I said yesterday, that it's just kind of a crazy stat. Drake May also led North Carolina in rushing last year.
That I did not realize. Till you said it yesterday, I didn't realize. I knew
did it by kind of a large margin too.
I saw him slinging the ball around. I did not realize that he had that many rushing yards.
But to that point, South Carolina has to come out physical, and I do wonder if Shane Beamer alters his approach to preseason just a little bit to have his team maybe in a little bit more physical mindset for that opener.
I'm going to try and do some reporting this weekend and try and scrounge up maybe some schedules that we had from those times during those 2-a-days with Lou Holtz, because
those were some of the last years you were allowed to have 2-a-days.
Correct.
There's no such thing as 2-a-days anymore.
No kids back in my day.
Bear Bryant, Lou Holtz, cut from the same cloth.
Yes.
A little less Junction Boys though. Y'all didn't get dragged out to the backwoods of Camden or somewhere.
No, but I am old enough to have had a coach tell me that water makes you weak.
Okay.
So
okay. Well, drink lots of water this
please
weekend,
do.
folks. It's warm.
It does not make you weak. It in fact does not.
Do you know what? I have no idea the age. I was gonna try and do a Tommy Moody tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tommy Moody's birthday.
Happy birthday, Tommy.
So
I believe Tommy's of the age where water made you weak also.
If you yeah, that's what they said on the baseball diamond back then. If you see Tommy Moody roaming around town this weekend, partying it up, give him a high five, wish him a happy birthday. We wish you a happy birthday, Tommy Moody. Hope it's a great weekend. Preston, it's been fun. We'll do it again.
Sir.
We'll open up the month of August on Tuesday. We'll wrap up the month of July on Monday. We'll see you then.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is defensive lineman Alex Hunley, and you're listening to Home of the Gamecocks 107.5 The Game.
A Cumulus media station.
Snakes, rodents, and mold all live and grow beneath.
Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Take care.